Game over.
And what is up? Welcome back. It's Friday night. You're here with the Average Boys podcast. It's your boy Crispy, and I'm here with my boy Brian D. What is up, my dude?
Yo, what is going on, everyone? Chris, man, what's up, bro? Man, how's your week been, bro?
So far, so good. Pretty solid. Really, just how it goes. Work, just maintaining the adulting life. But man, hasn't it felt super crazy with how much like nerd things are going on this week?
There's been a lot of things happening, and it's like I'm trying to have time to balance like my normal life, my outside life, and then like my podcast life. Because I got 2 podcasts going on, so like I'm balancing all this stuff. It's crazy, and it just seems like, especially in like the nerd land, the nerd news, it's like one thing after another. So it's a lot to keep up with, but you know what? I'm enjoying every second of it. So absolutely.
Yeah, I was talking to a friend of mine at work today, and I was like, dude, can you imagine like right now? There's literally probably 4 solid streaming services based on superheroes that are like topping the charts right now.
Yeah.
Like that's including something from Marvel. That's including something from Star Wars.
Mhm.
Like there's just so much stuff going on in the nerd world that it's super hard to keep up with.
Absolutely.
Because like today, of course, we're going to be talking about, of course, like our final discussion is probably going to be based around the ObiWan finale, which I hope we get some people in the comment section talking about. We're going to be talking about, of course, The Boys. We just got the release of probably one of the most anticipated episodes of the show, Hero Gasm, which did not disappoint. It was fucking bonkers, man. Yeah. And of course, we have our recent recap for Miss Marvel. But of course, we also have this really, really cool thing that happened this week, which is people are already getting the early reactions and early screening for Thor: Love and Thunder, which is something that I've been anticipating. I know you've been anticipating it also because you're a huge Taika Waititi fan. We want to talk about that too, because we've had some of our favorite YouTubers that we watch that we respect in the industry that are out there talking about it. Yeah, and I of course, I have my reserves, but we'll definitely make sure that we talk about that. But what else is going on? Is there anything else in the nerd news that you've heard of that's just awesome?
I mean, I don't know if it's awesome, but it's like, dude, I came in here. I was fully anticipating coming in here this week, and it be a Ezra Miller free week.
Oh no!
And god damn it, this kid does it again, bro.
Fucking
like it's just
wait. It's something different from last week.
Absolutely, it's just like
no.
Now it's just seriously, it just keeps getting worse and worse and worse, dude. Like, I don't understand how this guy is free on the streets. Like, this guy is like now is literally playing out like a Netflix docu series. Like, I feel as though I'm gonna watch this on Netflix in 2 years after somebody does this docu series, and this guy is held up in a barn with underage or like girls that he's met when he was like when they were underage, and there's babies involved and there's bullets involved and weapons involved. Like, it's just batshit crazy, bro. It's crazy,
okay,
man.
So I've been kind of disconnected. I don't really pay attention too much to the news.
Yeah.
So I'm not really like all cut up on all this crazy stuff. I literally just stick on work. I have one of my guys, Freddie May. He's out in Mexico, Baja, Mexico right now, fighting. He'll be on UFC Fight Pass tonight. He's about to destroy his opponent. So yeah, I don't really watch the news too much. So is he still on the run?
Yeah, he's still on the run.
Catch this dude. What the fuck is going on?
I think out of everything, which is so fucking crazy to say out loud. I think I would just say one of the things that is most mind-boggling to me is the fact that he hasn't been caught yet.
Like they found Osama bin Laden in a fucking rock cave, dude.
This guy is held, and they know where he is. Like they know exactly where he is. Like one of the kids sent out like a video basically saying that the parents are overreacting and just leave them alone. And dude, it's getting out of hand, man. But you know what? I'm glad. I just wanted to get that out of the way really quick. It doesn't have to be a major talking point or anything like that. It's just it's something that is related to the nerd world, but it's also in entertainment and like a global thing as well. It's like this is main news now. This is no longer something that's only being covered on Screen Rant or things where we get most of our nerdy news from. Now this is like mainstream news now.
Now, in the aspect of it too, has WB finally made like some type of an announcement, or like are they going through with it? Or
I don't think there's been an official announcement yet. I think that would be something that would hit my
that would hit your
Twitter, Twitter or something, but they haven't said anything. So which is it's super fucking weird that they haven't said anything yet. There's no way this movie comes out. I'm saying it right now. I'll bet any amount of money that
we got our boy Robert in the comment section. He sent us a really awesome link earlier that's stating that WB is going to end up pulling the movie, like you were talking about, where they might end up just suing this guy. So
like I said, and I said it last week before any articles came out.
You've been championing the idea for like 2 weeks already.
Yo, dude, I'm telling you, that's what I would do. I would literally shut everything down and sue Ezra, whatever company,
for all it's worth,
everything, man. His management, everything. I'd sue everyone to get as much money as I possibly can. Yo, life is about fucking losses, bro. Like that's it. Sometimes you just got to cut your losses. This is a loss. Every time that this kid is in the news, you are making it worse and worse and worse. At this point, if you were gonna put it out, you might as well just put it. I think
the last thing that kind of like I was probably watching something about, politics or whatnot, like maybe like last week. And I think what kind of discerned me about wanting to be on the internet, watching all the crazy shit unfold about it, was there was an article about like, well, Emma Watson hasn't said anything. And I'm like, dude, leave that chick alone. She's not even a part of this. Why are you guys bringing up fucking Hermione from Harry Potter?
Oh, because
she's like his best friend or something like that.
Oh, okay.
So they were like, well, she hasn't said anything. I'm like, she doesn't have to. Like, she's got her own life. Like, don't drag her into that reminded me of that fucking lawyer from the Johnny Depp shit that started talking shit about Paul Bentley.
Oh yeah.
Like, dude, you could ruin that dude's career if in a heartbeat. Like, him not even know that he's gonna be a part of this shit.
Just throw him right in the shit, right?
Just throw his ass out there, and then all of a sudden he gets a phone call from fucking Kevin Feige. Hey man, like, no disrespect, like I didn't know you were doing cocaine off of strippers' backs like that lawyer said, so we're gonna have to like for a little bit. And he's like, dude, I mean that was like fucking 28 years ago, man. Like
dry snitching on my guy Vision. That's fucked up.
That was dicey, man. So yeah, I saw them bring in another actress, Emma Watson, and I know that she has her own stuff that she's a part of, and I guarantee, I can fucking guarantee it, that nobody wants to be a part of this, like politically, like this dragged out shit with Ezra Miller. Like that was like when I told you, like, man, where's Aquaman? Why hasn't he picked his ass up? If he's, and it's like, fuck no. I would if I was fucking Jason Momoa, I'd be like, man, you keep your ass way the fuck on the other side of Hawaii.
I wonder if they're even able to say anything. Like they may be on like a gag order.
Yeah, that's I mean, I wouldn't doubt it.
They might be on definitely like if Warner Brothers doesn't say anything, and HBO, if HBO Max or Warner Brothers doesn't say anything, I'm pretty sure they're keeping a tight muzzle on anyone that's going to say anything. They're probably going to be the ones to be able to say something first if they say anything at all. Do
you think with all the bad press that's around this guy that it's even a smart move for them to release it streaming for free?
That's probably their best bet,
because they'll still make some type of cash from it, right?
They won't make the money from the box office, but at least it's so much of a shit show. Maybe they'll be able to get some new subscribers to HBO Max.
Oh yeah,
So they'll make their money that way. But box office, I think that's a loss. I think that's a loss.
yeah, most def.
That's definitely
Yeah, I
a
think they
loss.
just need to fire his ass, man, and just make a public announcement. Be like, we are not at all connected to this dude anymore. Like, we are done with this.
It is mind-boggling how they haven't done that yet. It's crazy.
Yep.
This guy's held up in a barn right now with fucking kids and guns and shit. It's crazy.
You think by chance this turns into one of those like Waco, Koresh, Davidian compound situations?
I hope not. But again, I as you know, I love my docuseries. I love my occult and cult stories. So, but this is usually how it starts off, dude. So it's like this is usually how it starts. This is yeah, I don't. But anyway,
yeah, Ezra Miller, stop giving us content, man. I'm tired of talking about you already.
Yeah, it's bad. It's bad when we're like, yo, stop giving us content. Like,
yeah,
stop
please,
giving us
Ezra,
talking points.
Turn yourself in already, man.
Seriously.
Okay, so starting off with regular basic stuff, I want to talk about probably the most interesting thing that we've heard. Well, I mean, not the most interesting thing. We just got the release of a very interesting show.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not really sure if you've seen it or if you heard about it yet, but we just got released the season 3 of the Umbrella Academy. They released the whole entire season, which is I prefer that more than anything. I really hate the weekly thing. I'm getting real tired.
So you're not a weekly kind of guy, right? You're like, you just give it to me and.
Well, it's like one of those things. Like, let me ask you, like right now when we're watching, or you know what? I'll bring something up from the past so we don't bring up anything. Let's say it's Boba Fett.
Yeah.
Would you have wasted 4 weeks or at least an entire day watching an entire season, or would you have just stopped on episode 3?
I think I've had this conversation plenty of times. I'm like you. I like the season dump, and then I can just binge it. I'll order myself a pizza and I'll go through a whole fucking season like it's nothing. But it is nice sometimes to have episodic releases weekly. So it all depends on what show. Now, Boba Fett, I would have liked that to have been just one. I can just binge that and get that out the way. I would have not. If I had my choice, I would have not liked to wait each week for another episode of that. And honestly, I think it might have worked in their advantage if that were how that worked out.
I mean, it would have been one of those things like you would have got the majority of the numbers on the site.
Yeah,
you would have got people watching it and staying hours and hours and hours, which probably would have gave you more showtime.
Yeah,
but the idea would be like, I'm one of those people that if I lose interest second or third episode, like I just quit watching the whole season altogether. I don't waste my time on it.
That's the risk that you take when you come out weekly. If you come out with a stinker of a show and you're not as dedicated or have a reason to talk about the content like we are, then you may lose some people because it's just you stunk it up one week. But if you release it the entire season, you know, I'll sit there and watch the entire fucking thing.
I think for safety, Star Wars needs to start doing that, man.
I think it's more of a Disney thing. I think Disney is just not with it. They'll rather you suffer.
Suffer with it. You like it, you like it. You don't. You don't. You know, and we're gonna talk about some crazy stuff later, of course. But they did release the season 3 of the anticipated Umbrella Academy. All the characters are back. It's I'm already on episode, I want to say 4 or 5. If anybody else is out in the comment section, let me know that you are watching the show, The Umbrella Academy, the new season. Tell us what you think and what you guys are liking about it and what you're not liking. So far, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's a nice disconnect from, of course, watching the over the top antics from the boys, and then of course the Bugs Bunny, Looney Tunes, cartoony motions of Miss Marvel, and you know the Disney Plus shows, the wittiness. And then you know the slightly more mature tone with the ObiWan and stuff like that. Gerard Wade, which is the head singer of My Chemical Romance, created the Umbrella Academy, man, dude, back in like 2010, 2012. And it was a pretty good success. With the first 2 seasons of the show, it brought in a whole rejuvenation of the fan base back to the series of the Umbrella Academy.
Yeah.
Now you have the new season where the characters are displaced in an alternate timeline.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a whole introduction of a whole new cast of characters, other ones with superheroes, and of course some repurposing of characters from past episodes. But I think the major talking point would be the actor slash previous actress Elliot Page, who was Ellen Page, who played Vanya.
Yeah.
We were talking about this a little bit off the camera, off of live, right? And
mm-hmm.
I was telling you, like, it feels. I mean, I feel like it's a little forced, but I feel like it's very warmly the way that Gerard Way was willing to take the chance and just be like, hey man, you know what? Like, I respect you for who you are. I'll change the character.
You can always count. You can always count on a Jersey boy to do the right thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can always count on a Jersey boy to do the right thing. No, that's dope. That really is dope.
And it's what's also interesting too is Gerard Way himself never shies away from being non-exclusive when it comes to like different sexualities or different genders or different things. Like, he never shies away from it. He's very open about putting it in his content already.
Yeah.
So I think he is probably one of the most championing creators to approach in this situation. Now, with that, I would like to get anybody else's opinion on how they feel how the show is going so far. Because I think my opinion is when it first is introduced, I feel like it's really forced. And this is just my opinion. Like, I feel like it's just a very direct, like, hey, well, this is what I'm doing. Like, take it or leave it. And then everyone's like, cool, take it, I guess. And then they just kind of go on with it. And then, of course, like after that, my opinion is like the character is almost written differently than who they were in previous seasons. So it feels like just a whole new, brand new character in general, which is a little awkward to me because you have this character that's been in the IP for like so long. But then again, in the later episodes, I want to say like around episode 4 is when you get past all of the like them getting used to the transition, and it just turns back into the show. But there is that moment where you can feel like it's taking, like it's time to push through.
Okay.
So, I mean, overall, what's crazy is it didn't ruin the experience of enjoying Umbrella Academy season 3.
I think honestly, with a big transition like that, that's all you're looking for. When you're like the production company, when you make a change like that, the only thing you're looking for is just to create as little disruption as possible. Now, I don't know how you can, because that's a major thing that you're doing. That's a major move, man. But it seems as though when you have a property or an IP like the Umbrella Academy, and it's written well and it has a following, and you give them the opportunity, you give them the I don't want to say ultimatum, but if you give it to them like, hey, listen, this is the direction we're going in, you can either take it or leave it. 9 out of 10 times they're going to take it and just roll with it. And you know what I'm saying? And they'll go with it. It may be a little bit bumpy. You may, get your assholes on Twitter talking about it, but for the most part, it'll work out in your favor. And I love the fact that they took that chance, and it's not biting them in the ass. So I again, hats off to them. And I wasn't aware of the situation until you brought it to my attention, and the way that you were bringing, and the way that you explained it to me, I immediately said, you know what, good for them. Good for them for taking a chance on him and having enough faith in what they had in the show that they could be able to pull this off, no matter how it was written. Now, personally, I would have liked it to have, again, I don't watch the show, but I would have liked it to make sense in the story. But being that I know what happened outside of the show, I will, I'll just, what it is, what it is, and I'm rolling. So
well, I hope you get the opportunity to watch it, because the show is pretty creative.
Yeah,
it handles time travel and time displacences and stuff like that. Very, very fun and very well. Even with the situation that happened with this character, it doesn't feel too crazy as you would assume. It's and you know what? Like it's so direct and straightforward that when Marvel tries to do some shit like this, like Marvel can't get it right. Like they just can't. They can't get it right.
Well,
They
honestly, it's probably because I don't want to say it's coming from a genuine place, but this is one, it's more of a lesser known IP than all the other IP that Disney has. And number two, I mean, and I keep saying it, I've said it before, but Disney has a track record of just trying to use the shock and awe play on certain things, and it doesn't seem like that's what they're doing for Umbrella Academy. Like this is like some real. Like this is some real shit that they had to, that they went and did, and I applaud them for it.
most definitely. But if you get a chance, Brian, here's another.
I will add it to the list. You guys are keeping, you know what, you guys are keeping me fucking busy. I tell you that much, bro. Like I feel like a schmuck every week. I have to come in here and say, you know what, I haven't watched it. There's just you know what it is so much content out in the world. There is so much to watch, and it seems like something new is like, even like what, next week, Stranger Things is back out.
Oh yeah,
so
next week, like, already, right?
Yeah, dude. So it's like, dude, every week there's just something new.
Like I was super surprised this week because I was totally not anticipating the Umbrella Academy, and then I was not anticipating, of course, the next thing that we're going to be talking about, which was the early reactions for Love and Thunder. I wasn't anticipating it. It's like it had kind of like left my mind that we are that much closer to that movie already.
Yeah,
because we just got Doctor Strange in the single verse of madness, because there was no multiverse. They're in the multiverse for like 5 seconds, dude. But yeah, man, we're gonna talk about Thor: Love and Thunder because those early reactions are pretty wild. Yeah, but yeah, highly recommended. If you guys get an opportunity, watch the Umbrella Academy. Season 1, season 2 are fantastic. Season 3 is building up to be something pretty special. Brian, you got to let us know when you watch it. And anybody out that's in the comment section right now that's watching, if you've seen it, leave us a comment. Let us know what you guys think. Let us know what you guys are feeling about the show and what you guys think that if it's recommended or not. But onwards to the next part of the conversation. Early reactions for Thor: Love and Thunder. Brian, did you get to see the new trailer that just dropped?
I did, sir. Yes.
So what'd you think?
I mean, it didn't have that much new stuff in it, but I listen. I anyone that has been watching me over the past couple of weeks, you understand my position. I love Taika Waititi. I love Thor Ragnarok. I am waiting for this movie. This movie is going to be. This is the one. This is the one for me.
What have you heard so far from early reactions about this film?
That it's fucking amazing. That's what I fucking heard. That it's better than Thor Ragnarok, and it's going to be held as one of the better MCU films of all fucking time. Oh,
shit.
That's what I'm hearing.
I mean, I've heard some crazy ass stuff. I mean, one being, of course, that some of the popular YouTubers that we have a tendency to watch on reviews and stuff like that are saying that this is probably one of the most amazing movies that you've ever seen. It's one of their top 5s now. Some of them are using top 1, like above Civil War or no, Winter Soldier. Get out of here, dude. I don't know if anything's ever going to take that movie out. But yeah, people are saying that Christian Bale is probably one of the most awesomest additions to the Marvel Universe. Yeah. They're saying that the romance story of this film is by far one of the greatest storytellings for
a lot of emotion. I'm hearing
a lot of emotion and stuff like that.
I heard Russell Crowe was really good too in the movie.
Oh yeah,
that's where a lot of people are giving Russell Crowe a lot of praise.
And then everybody's talking about the post-credit scene being one of the craziest things they've seen in a while.
That's what I heard as well.
Okay, so what are our theories on what everybody's talking about? So one, do we think we're going to get hype fished? Do we think we're going to get early review fished?
I don't think so, because all right, so let's take even Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, right? Even when those initial reviews came out and most of those were positive, I'm seeing words that I didn't see there. Like I'm looking at, unexpectedly personal and heartfelt. I'm looking at like it's predictably like we know it's gonna be funny. But people are saying that it's better than like saying that this movie is gonna be better than Thor Ragnarok. Like that's I don't really know too many people that don't like Thor Ragnarok, so that's saying a lot, bro. Like
Oh yeah, most definitely.
I don't know, man. Like I kind of want to believe this, but then again, I kind of want to hold a little bit of reservation just in case, we're getting fucked with, by just some pay to play people that are out here.
Like, it's no disrespect to those guys, because I was telling Brian earlier this, like, if Marvel called me up and was like, hey, we want to fly you, Trigger, and Brian out to LA. We have early seats for you guys to come and check out Thor Love and Thunder, and then for you guys, of course, to sign a non-disclosed NDA that you guys can't, talk about it until this kind of day, but we want you to kind of tell the people that watch your stuff, yo,
I will be the
I'll be
phoniest.
there.
I will be the phoniest motherfucker on the planet. 2 thumbs up, bro. Nah, like, nah, I'm
and
joking.
then it's gonna be the blink twice if he's hitting you.
Right.
If he hits you behind the head, dude, when you're not like blink. Guys, it was amazing. Blink, blink. Like, oh shit. Like, I mean, we would be totally hyped and excited for the situation too, because you're right there being able to rub elbows with people that create it and put it out in the market. But I was one of those people that was disappointed with Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. I went out and put my opinion out in the market. It wasn't taken with open arms. But later on, when people got to absorb it, is when people started asking questions. Is when you really, really get to think about it. You're like, wait a minute, you know what? You're kind of right about this. I mean, yeah, it was cool, but yeah, this is kind of weird. Like the continuity parts, the storytelling parts, things like that. It was very dicey. It was very dicey for what it was. Oh, what's up? What's up? I'm getting a couple of the comments right now. They're just coming in. Razak, I'm just wearing a shirt. Street Fighter, got from Walmart, $7. Ham, what's up, my dude? It's good to hear from you. And Robert, sorry about that. I'm just barely getting those comments. That's super wild. Oh yeah. Yeah, I was.
So I'm looking over some of the reviews. A lot of them are saying that it's the better Phase 4 movie so far. Again, Christian Bale is doing a phenomenal job. Quote, Christian Bale's gore is a killer boogeyman blending the campy and the creepy. So yeah, a lot of people. I mean, I think even the most mild review that I'm seeing, or I guess the most negative I'm reading, is that some of the jokes don't land like they do in Thor Ragnarok.
Okay.
So like there is one person here that is giving some blah reviews or whatever, but for the most part, everyone's, and that's hard, dude. Like even if some of these people are scared that they won't be invited to the next screening, there's at least a few of them that usually go and say, you know what, it's probably not going to be for you, or or it has its problems or whatever.
One of the dudes I was watching was one of the guys that kind of gave that code word for Miss Marvel. That was like, it might not be for you. Like he started it off like that.
Yeah.
And for me, that's always code for like, oh shit, people aren't going to like this.
Mm-hmm.
But they have to kind of reword it in a different way to make it still sound positive. But the thing is I did not hear anybody make those kind of comments about this when it came to the review for Thunder.
You know what really is gonna suck though?
What's up?
Is that I'm afraid that this is gonna be a unanimous favorite with people, and you're still gonna hate it because it's taking one of your favorite storylines and it's not going to be as accurate as you would like it to be, and so you're just not going to be able to enjoy it, bro.
No, man, I'm gonna try my best. I think we've talked about this a million times, that I've kind of taken your guys' words where it's like you can't anticipate that they're gonna try to make the comic. It's not about us anymore. The comic book lovers, like, it's really not. Now it's it's up to them to be creative and be masterful at their craft.
Yeah.
Because like I've said before, Disney and Marvel together both came together to create a cinematic event, a cinematic masterpiece. And then for them to go backwards and just make it comedies and this and that, and not continue to make masterful plays and write really shitty, they have to learn. And I was talking to my brother about this earlier. They have to be open to know that they can get shit on if they're taking those easy cuts. They got to know that they can get shit on if they take those easy cuts. Like the thing is they're easy wins when you follow the comic books. But if the people that are making these stories are like, well, I want to self intervene, and I know that the original story was a masterpiece, but I feel like my creative improvement can make it way better. And the dude just changes Thor's hammer yellow instead of brown, and everyone shits on it. The guy can't go off and blame everybody that they just hate him. He has to know that he fucked up. Like, does that make sense?
It makes sense, but I don't think there is an issue with the Marvel fandom not being able to do that. I just don't think there has been anything egregious to warrant that. Now, when you look at Star Wars, there's a few things that I can see people having some issues with. But I mean, for as far as the MCU, I mean, I follow. I watch a lot of content, dude.
I mean,
like,
it's pretty casually good. It's casually
a lot
good
more.
Through.
I watch a lot more content than I even lead to lead on. The most of my times are spent watching reviews, reactions for multiple reasons. But it's usually unanimous for MCU. Whatever little gripes you may have, you're able to overlook just for a multitude of reasons. So yeah.
Well, it's to me right now, the Marvel IP is the only thing that's doing things right. Like in the sense of taking care of their content a little bit more than everybody else's. Yeah. So like Star Wars already ruined their shit. Like, and everybody else is just still slowly on the deep climb. DC can't even touch it. Like they're not even like feet in the water kind of thing.
They're not in the fucking pool. Like they're not even inside. Bus, they're not even there yet. Yeah.
They're not even at the pool party, man. They're still on the bus, man. So
no chance.
I think Marvel's the only one that's doing it right, but they cannot go backwards. They can't fall. And the only thing to me is I'm excited to watch a great Thor film, because my biggest concern is everything that's come out right now has not helped Phase 4. It hasn't helped Phase 4. Only Shang-Chi, I guess.
No, I think Shang-Chi definitely helped Phase 4. I mean, for what it's worth, I do think that Doctor Strange helped Phase 4. Because we got incursions, we got multiverse, we got a lot of shit. Loki
would be the only thing that's pushed forward.
Loki definitely helped Phase 4. So there's some content out there, and I think that's what helps at the end. This is what I'm talking about. Like that's what helps the MCU is that for every dud, let's call, there's always gonna be 3 or 4 that they knock out the park.
Well, I mean, but not only that, like Marvel's duds are still like a 7.
They're still pretty good.
Yeah, they're still pretty good. I mean,
they're still pretty good.
As long as it's not, Ant-Man 2 and Thor: The Dark World.
Yeah,
I think it's pretty good. I think it's casually pretty good. Again, what I heard today from one of the not spoilers, but one of the reactions is Christian Bale's performance will make you forget like his look as Gore the God Butcher, and you'll see him as this menacing character.
Yeah.
And that was pretty enticing. That was a pretty enticing comment for me to hear, because like I've said before, Gore the God Butcher is probably one of the best well-written Marvel villains. His success in the book is what drove Marvel to create Null, the symbiote god. Like, that's why they were like, yo, we should create this character. It'll be super cool. If it wasn't for the success of Gore, we wouldn't have that. If it wasn't for the success of the Gore the God Butcher story, we would have never had the Unworthy Thor storyline, which was by far probably one of the best storylines written for Thor himself?
I cannot wait until I have to watch you come in here on this very damn
And
show
defend it
and
or
say no
acknowledge.
and say, Brian, you were right, bro. Once again, you were right. Gore was fucking great. Christian Bale knocked it out the park, and I'm satisfied. That's what I want to see.
I don't know, man. I really don't.
He's like, good luck, motherfucker, because I don't know if that's
Yeah,
ever coming.
the reason why I say that is because Taika Waititi is one of those dudes that's like, I know
He's a
what you're
fucking man.
expecting. Yeah, I know what you're expecting, and I'm not gonna give you that, but you're gonna like it.
Yeah.
You're still gonna like it. He's like that. And the thing is I can't fathom the idea of what this story would need if I wanted it to go in another direction artistically.
Yeah.
Because at the midpoint of this story, Gore creates this thing called the God Bomb. I think I told you. Yeah,
Yep,
you already kind of caught up with all this stuff, right?
Yep.
Yeah, he creates the God Bomb, does all this crazy shit. It's fucking amazing, dude. And then there's this huge time displaced Thor fights Gore in 3 different timelines, and then they all meet in the time stream, and it's a wild fucking story.
Mm-hmm.
It's super crazy, and I could see a person like Taika Waititi creating a story like that and just being like, yo, this is gonna be great. Like, check this out. It's fucking wild. You'll love it. It's gonna be nuts.
There's, you know what it is. I automatically, when I like a director, like me getting me to like a director is very hard. It's extremely hard. But once I'm in love with the director, I'm a fan for life. Like sometimes it takes 1 or 2 movies. Sometimes it may take 5. But like there's just certain directors that no matter what, I'm going to champion the movie. And Taika Waititi he's probably like the latest one that no matter what, I'm probably going to go out and watch that movie and champion it beforehand, because I was so pleased with what he did with Thor Ragnarok. I don't see the person that can make that movie make another Thor with the same IP and make a bad movie. I don't see how that's possible. And you're adding Christian Bale to the mix. Like you're not making it worse with like new character. You're getting well-known A-star, A-list actors.
Oh yeah, A-list actor, huge name.
You know, so yeah, man.
So let me ask you something. So from this story in the comic books, we get a whole entire season of Jane Foster being the mighty Thor, thick and thin, right? So she goes out and she just stays this character for a while.
Yeah.
And then Thor goes off and becomes unworthy Thor, travels the world, does some crazy shit. Some real cool fucking like life journey stuff.
Just go live his life, yeah.
Do we see the ending of this film with them splitting and saying, hey, well, you know what? Like, Jane Foster, I like these powers. I'm going to go off and keep being the mighty Thor. I'm going to go join the Avengers and do some crazy shit. Do we see Jane Foster staying the mighty Thor and Natalie Portman staying in this IP?
I don't know.
That's a hard ass question.
Yeah, I think that's a very hard question. And to be honest with you, I don't know what direction I think they'll go. But I'm here for it. I'm here to see either one. I've gotten 4 movies with Chris Hemsworth as Thor. So if you give me 1 or 2 with Jane Foster as Thor, I'll be fine. So I'm not scared either way.
With another question. With the ending of this film being that a lot of people are talking about, you know, tears and crying and all this stuff, there's been a rumor, even though Chris Hemsworth has said, dude, I'll play this character till the end, till I'm an old man. I love this character. He's so cool. Which is
a smart fucking thing to fucking say, by the way.
You think by chance, with the way Taika Waititi works, that Thor dies at the end of this film?
But he can't die. So even if he does die, he'll be back. So it's like, why not?
Odin died.
Yeah, I guess. But I mean, I don't know. I think that whatever direction they'll go in, it'll make sense. I don't know. What about yourself? Like, what do you think? Like, how would you feel if at the end of this movie, we got Jane Foster as the mighty Thor, and that's going to be our Thor in the MCU moving forward. Like, how would you feel about that?
I mean, I'm cool with it. I think that storyline was pretty cool. Like with her being in the Avengers and her going out there and dating Falcon and then going and fighting Captain Hydra, dropping her hammer, and then fucking Captain Hydra picks it up like mid being a Hydra agent. Kind of made you. There was so many weird like moments that defined right now comic books in that timeline. And then of course you had the fucking greatest character in my opinion, which is Volstagg, but who's died in the cinematic universe, come back and be this like PTSD driven character named War Thor, who ends up finding or being called on by a hammer from a destroyed dimension or destroyed incursion dimension that has 1 billion of dead souls in it that are crying for vengeance. So then he goes around and just starts, starting the realms, wanting to create a bloodstorm. That's what he calls it. And Jane Foster shows up and they go to battle, dude. Like her and him, like they throw down, and it's so crazy because Jane Foster, yes, she's fucking ripped to shit as Jane Foster. Like she's a big lady, but Volstagg still like towers over her like ginormously. And you just see them going to battle. Both of them are just beating the shit out of each other. And then of course, unworthy Thor shows up and he helps Jane Foster fight War Thor, and War Thor's putting a beating on of course Odin's son. And then in the middle of the battle, Jane Foster's like, well, I'll help you. And she's like, well, help me stop Volstagg. Like it's Volstagg the Valiant. And there's this just heartfelt scene where like Jane Foster just drops the hammer, turns back into her cancer-ridden self, and she's standing in front of War Thor, this dude that's just driven on war. Yeah, just violence in his mind. And the sheer bravery of her doing that in front of him like totally breaks him, and he drops his hammer and turns back into Volstagg. And there's a really touching like scene, a panel in the story where like she's kind of like embracing his big body, even though she's so tiny next to him and frail, and he's just like hunched over a broken man. Nice. It's really great. It's really great. Of course, later on when Mangog comes out, Volstagg comes about and Mangog puts a beating on him. But they introduced this really great telling of another character that was just driven to pick up the hammer of Thor. And it brought in this whole nature of like, well, a woman can't be Thor. Well, no, anybody can be Thor if you can pick up the hammer. People complained when Jane Foster picked it up, but they didn't complain when a fucking horse picked it up. Beta Ray Bill picked that bitch up and everyone was excited. And everybody, and it does not make sense. And this is something that's crazy. The world never championed Jane Foster at first. It was very, very small when it came to the fan base behind it. But everybody champions, and to this day, they still like, oh man, I need to have Beta Ray Bill. Like Beta Ray Bill's the greatest. But he only stood on one comic, maybe two in the 80s. It wasn't until recently that they started talking about him in Thor Ragnarok that they started putting him more into comics and shit like that. But he had no comic book history. But people were like, dude, he's the best, and Beta Ray Bill and this and that. And it was just on the idea that people knew that was, like I call him a doomsday character. Do you know what that means or no?
No.
That would be like, do you read Superman comics?
Mm-hmm.
Even if you didn't, I bet you would know who Doomsday was.
I was gonna say the last, I guess one of the last runs that I remember buying was the Death of Superman.
The Death of Superman.
Oh yeah, so yeah.
But it's like that. Like a lot of people may not read the character or may not know much about like Superman himself, but they know Doomsday. Like they know the importance of that character. And I think that's what it was. The Beta Ray Bill character was just so important because no one else had ever lifted that hammer.
I hope that we do get a Beta Ray Bill cameo in this movie.
Man,
I think I honestly
right into this question.
No, I was gonna get into the comments. We're getting a little bit long-winded. I don't want to leave out some of these comments. Rob, I haven't got my tickets yet, sir. Have you got your tickets yet to Thor: Love and Thunder yet?
Me, no, I have not.
When I do get my tickets, I will be trying for the Dolby. So, Rob, I cannot wait so that I can send you a picture in the chat of my Thor hammer popcorn thing, and your movie theater does not have it. I can't wait to rub that in your face. And Vince does ask a really good question, which is kind of on topic to what we were talking about earlier. He says, "Sup guys? Who do you think will die?" He asked, "Who do you think will die in the Thor movie?" So, who does not make it out of this movie? I know we kind of touched on it a little bit, but who does not make it out of this movie, sir?
I'm probably gonna have to say Valkyrie, dude.
You know what? I think I that would be my initial response, but I will throw this out here though. Just follow me for a second.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Rob. It's gonna be so great when I just rub it in your face that your movie theater shitted on you twice in a row. All right, so that scene, right? That black and white scene where Valkyrie has Zeus's
lightning bolt,
right?
Ooh, I know what you're gonna say.
We see Thor, we see Valkyrie. We do not see Jane in any scene yet of that.
So you think Jane Foster might be the one that gets smoked?
So I'm just saying, if I can't take Valkyrie because it's been taken from you, I would say that Jane Foster probably does not make it out of this movie alive. And I would just think that that's one of the later scenes in the movie, if not the last fight scene.
I'll throw you one.
Okay.
Oh, but I don't know. No, dude, he's not even there, is he? I was gonna say Heimdall, but Heimdall died in Infinity War.
Heimdall is gone, bro.
Dead, dude. What
he's
the
gone,
fuck,
bro.
man?
He is gone, dude.
Dude,
which sucks,
his
man.
motherfucking ass is right there in my poster. He's in Jane Foster's storyline.
It sucks though.
Oh man, that's crazy. But you know what's crazy is Sif ends up becoming the new Heimdall.
Yeah.
Which she's still alive in the story.
And we did just get a cameo. We just got a cameo of her in Loki. So she's still around.
Yeah, she's still around. And then she ends up being a love interest for Beta Ray Bill. Now, are we all championing the idea that we're going to get a Beta Ray Bill?
Yeah.
Okay. I am 100% championing that we're getting Hercules.
Okay.
I'm 100% going with that.
Because I don't think that's a far-fetched thing since we're going to be on Mount Olympus.
Because I think I don't know why they keep doing this to him, but at the ending of this film, I'm guessing we're getting another Thor's got to go find out who he truly is kind of shit. I'm so tired of that storyline with him, but like that's unworthy Thor. Like he has to some way find a way to realize that he's either one, unworthy of having the hammer and being a god, or two, he's going to feel that now with the way Gore the God Butcher speaks that he is unworthy of being the king.
Yeah.
Like the king of gods. Because Odin would be this person that sits on the top of the pantheon of gods.
Mm-hmm.
So like he's kind of like this I guess superior when it comes to the All Fathers, right?
Yeah.
But maybe he just doesn't feel like he's worthy of his dad's position. And that would be a concept of being like, hey, you know what? I'm not going by Thor anymore. I am now Odin's son. And I have to be of Odin now. Like I have to try to sit on that position.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
No, it definitely makes sense.
And then boom, since we have an opening for a god character to be in the Avengers at the ending, and then his father being killed by Gore the God Butcher, Hercules pops up and he's like, what's up, motherfuckers? Where's my dad?
Okay.
Right, post-credit scene. That's going to be my call. Because you know what's really weird is I cannot see a post-credit scene in this movie. In my mind, I can't see where like Marvel is going to go. Like with all the other stuff that has come out, I just don't see any like path to which way they're going.
I can see Well, then again, it can go a couple of different places. I honestly think like this movie may have more Easter eggs than Doctor Strange might, because I'm still, you know what scene is interesting to me the most is that scene where it's obviously digitally altered, but Jane Foster slams down into whatever tomb or room that is, where she's got the living tribunal and the watcher behind her. Like, I think she's going to interact with all of those deities and all those beings at that point, and I kind of want to see what happens there. And I think that may actually shed some light as to where we're going, as well as whatever post-credit scene that we're gonna get.
Would it trip you out if later on in Phase 4 it came out that Kang like put all the like orchestrated all these people to be doing their weird shit?
No, I'm kind of banking on it, because we're already, I kind of guess we're like halfway through Phase 4, and we haven't seen Kang
At
except
all.
for Thor, except for Loki. I know we're gonna get him in Ant-Man 3, but we haven't gotten him yet, and we're literally at the halfway point to the end of phase, halfway through Phase 4.
Hey, by chance, it's a good question by Vince. Do you see a chance or a possibility of us getting a Kang cameo in Thor: Love and Thunder? Like, do you see anything like that? Like,
Yeah, because if I'm not mistaken, Ant-Man is probably the next movie in line. No,
yeah,
it wouldn't be that far fetched if we got a Kang mid credit or post credits scene, because he's due up next. Like, he'll be up in a movie very, very soon.
yeah. Because I was gonna say, like, if they leave it to Ant-Man to bring in a character that size, I really don't know what the fuck Hank Pym or Scott Lang, what they're gonna bring to Kang the Conqueror. Like, I really don't know. Like, unless, okay, so I casually take that back.
Okay. I was
In
gonna say I was gonna defend Ant-Man for a second.
Yeah,
If you don't take this back, yo.
sometimes you need to,
I am.
because Ant-Man in the MCU is very like he's like, man, I don't know how to even explain it. He's written so weirdly in the story. He's just like an extra dude that could just get small and get big. Like, that's literally all he's got. His girlfriend is a lot better combat wise, but he's very like, I don't know, he's very throwawayable. But in the comic books, there's a really cool change when they bring in Scott Lang, because they end up using him, and well, Hank Pym does it too, where they can travel the quantum realm into different multiverses and timelines to kind of do research and espionage on what's happening in the multiverse, to figure out what's going on in their universe. It's almost like a spy, but a multiversal spy.
So I don't mean to cut you off really quick, but the next movie after Thor: Love and Thunder is Black Panther, and then it's Ant-Man and Wasp. So Kang mid-credit scene, it's not that far. It's not that far.
And we may even get a Doctor Doom reference or a cameo in the Black Panther film, which a lot of people are talking about.
So nervous about that movie. God damn it! I'm trying to forget about that movie's coming up.
Wait, why are you
nervous
this though?
Because I just don't want it to be bad, bro. I don't want it to be bad. Like, of all these movies
that have come out, are you not excited to see like a Mayan Atlantean, dude?
I mean, I'm not worried about that. Like, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, don't be too worried about it. I'm not worried about it either.
Yeah, I was gonna say fuck you. I just don't want this movie to be bad, bro. It would just suck, because it's not anyone's fault if it does suck.
Nah, most definitely, man. I don't think it's, look, even if it's bad, I really don't think anyone in the world would be that evil to make fun of it. Yeah. You know what I mean? I want to assume that there would be no one, like, not that big of a piece of shit.
Oh, this is definitely gonna be trolls, but I mean, the people the people with a brain would understand.
You just
listen. You know what? I don't want to start making excuses for them, because they could probably knock this out the park. Yeah. But if it is sure, and every time I'm going out of my way to purposely forget that this movie is coming, just so I don't build up any anticipation.
I'm excited for it, dude. I really am. because the show has to go on.
It's
Yeah,
just been
let me
so
ask you. I
snake
don't know if
bitten.
I ever asked you this, but how would you? I mean, because you're more connected because of your ethnicity on the success of this film. Like it's almost like it's like, hey man, you know what? Like this is our champion. This is our character. There's a lot of culture in this. How would you feel if they changed it a little bit and made it to where the character that plays M'Baku is Black Panther? I mean,
I'm
maybe just
already
for this movie going into the next, they find a different replacement, whatnot. But just for this film,
I'm anticipating it because I've done enough, or I've come across enough information to know pretty much the angle that
okay,
they're going in for this movie. So that is a possibility. There's also a possibility that there will be more than one Black Panther in this movie.
okay,
So
like people trying to fill up the role or something, like trying
like
to like,
there's gonna
okay,
be multiple. I think at the very least two.
okay,
And so I'm prepared for that. Is again and again, anyone that knows me, as long as it's written correctly,
correctly.
I'm fine. I have no um worries about Ryan Coogler or any of the actors. Everyone in that's in these movies are A-list actors at this point. So I just the writing is the only thing I'm worried about. So
Yeah,
we'll see.
makes sense. Okay, so in the comment section, we got Robert saying the only thing I heard is there was a big post credit scene. Yeah,
I
man,
heard that.
and big
Heard
meaning
that.
that he's huge, built. His name is Hercules. Get it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Vince Weaver also says, "I hope we get a Fantastic Four cameo in Ant Man." Okay, I could possibly see that because Reed Richards is a very prominent person when it comes to traveling the multiverse.
Mm.
You have I mean, especially if Kang is in it, like there is a possibility we may get some kind of like callback to Reed Richards in the thing. If there's one character I would not mind seeing is Mastermind, and I know
Okay.
you know who Mastermind is because you just caught up on Time Runs Out.
Yeah.
Mastermind is the Ultimates world version of Reed Richards that becomes a tyrannical madman.
The
And he's even
dickhead.
got like a deformed head from all his crazy shit that he's done. And he has this crazy mask that makes him look like an alien. It's super long. It's just a cool fucking redesign of the character. And yeah, that would be really cool. I would have preferred to have seen him in the fucking
Loki.
multiverse of madness.
Okay.
That would have been way fucking cooler for me. Because that could be like a cool throwaway character. But because we'll probably never get that iteration
Probably
of,
never get you.
you know
Probably
what I
never
mean?
get.
Like even the idea of them doing Secret Wars, like there's no way we get a Mastermind. We'll get a whole different character, in other words. And
Well,
that's it.
I really don't know. I think there's going to be multiple versions of uh
Characters.
Kang running around. So you never know. We may. And I think they're all at some point they're all going to be fighting each other as what they usually do.
You know,
So we'll
in
see.
that sense, because I really believe that they're gonna redo the old school Secret Wars.
And I think I've said it way back a long time ago. I'm more personally, I'm more of a fan of
Of
the
the
of
old
the
one?
old one. I liked it. But not saying that I didn't like the what's the guy's name? I tried to flex real quick, but I can't remember the guy that wrote the new one. But yes, I'm not saying that I don't like the new one. I just was more of a fan of the older one.
I mean, it'd be cool if we had like let's say they do the Secret Wars like the old school with a little bit of mixture of the new, and they create this battle world kind of scenario where there's all these cameo characters that they don't know what they're doing there, but you have your villains versus heroes.
Yeah.
And in that concept, they bring in Doctor Strange, of course, but like on the opposite side, it's the Baron Mordo from that world that he screwed over, the
Yeah.
Incursions world or the Illuminati world.
Mhm.
Like that Baron Mordo with the long hair, like comes back to do battle with him against him.
Dope.
That because you remember, I think it was a unreleased scene, but the Baron Mordo of our 616 or the cinematic universe was supposed to fight Wanda and get killed.
Yeah.
Like that was supposed to be like the first entry, and then you realize there's something wrong with Wanda. She's a little bit off. She's just not cutting apples, man. She's just snipping dudes, man. Snipping them. But Vince Weaver also says, since Black Panther is the next movie after Thor, do you think there's a possibility we get a Namor or Black Panther post-credit scene to hype the fans?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. The reason why is because when they start releasing like advertisements for Black Panther coming, that's going to be more than enough. Because I just think the world wants to see the success story of them pulling through the tragedy. That's what I think. I think they're gonna have a lot of people rooting for him.
It would be dope. I don't think there's a necessity for it because, like you said, like you said. I mean, listen, newsflash. I don't know who needs to hear this, but Black Panther is going to outgross all of these movies.
Definitely.
Besides Spider-Man, which was technically last year. Mm-hmm. This is gonna break a lot of fucking numbers, dude. So yeah, there's a lot of people that are really rooting for this movie to be successful, and it's one of those things that I just think everybody's looking at it like a Cinderella story. Like we want to see it rise from the tragedy. Yeah, that's pretty much what it is, in my opinion. So I really don't think we need a cameo in Thor for them. I know that Boss is coming out in it. Yes. A live action version of Boss, which is the Black Panther goddess. We're gonna get that. We're getting that in Thor, right?
That's in Thor: Love and Thunder.
Yeah, that's in Thor. Yeah.
If you watch the trailer, the Boss character is sitting in front of Valkyrie and Jane Foster.
Yes.
So there will be some, but then again, in a really wide scene in a new trailer, you could see a pretty good amount of the Pantheon.
There's a lot of them.
There's
a lot of them.
Like straight from Moon Knight kind of thing. Yeah. So we will get some type of confirmation that a lot of this stuff is still very well connected with the different Pantheons. We have to remember that, of course, Odin knows of every Pantheon because all of the fathers of the different races, or the different religions, all sit on a Sky Father's Pantheon. Mm-hmm. All those dudes meet up like kind of like the way the video is, where they're all in like this chamber and all of them are just chilling out. Mm-hmm. And that's going to be also like the Mayan god who might be the Namor god who's coming back. And Namor may end up being an avatar, the way Moon Knight is. But then I kind of feel like it might be more Black Panther-esque where the king or the prince is endowed with the power of the king of the sea or whatnot. I don't know if they're going to go like straight Aquaman with a trident and all this other stuff. Mm-hmm. Or he's going to be in general like just the dude who controls the ocean. Yeah. So, but yeah, man, can't wait. I think it's going to be pretty exciting. Thor: Love and Thunder is getting a lot of early reactions. It looks like it's going to be great. Can't wait. It's going to be fun. Make sure I get my tickets soon, and I'll do it dull.
Every time Vince is on point. I'm drinking water today, bro.
Always just
had a long day. Had a long day.
He's always drink bullying me. I was just drinking a Coke Zero from this place.
Yeah, we're pretty lame. We're pretty lame tonight, Vince.
Yeah,
bro.
Man, dude, I'm not even kidding. Last week, and that's because after last week, like at nighttime,
we need that Chris a lot more, bro. I like that Chris. I like this Chris too.
I get rowdy, dude. I
like this Chris too, but sometimes I want that rowdy Chris.
Yeah, I get rowdy, man. I had to go to the convention the next day, and Vince saw me. He was there, and I was just not having it, man. My life was just in slow-mo mode, dude. Everything tastes like that fruit punch shit, dude.
Oh shit, that's funny.
But I ate pizza for breakfast, and it helped absorb some of
that. Boy,
yeah, way to relive college life.
Hell yeah.
So I had some Papa John's, and it kind of absorbed some of that shit. So felt a little bit better by like 10, 11 o'clock. But yeah, it was a fun day. I needed to unwind from a long week of work. But
I'd like to see it.
Onwards to the next conversation. Guys, we're going to get right more into the deeper parts of the conversation, starting with the recent episode of Miss Marvel. We have a new episode Marvel has released for the streaming show on Disney Plus. We have episode 3. I can't even remember anymore what episodes. It's just so many things I'm watching right now.
I told you it's so much content, bro. It's so much content. And you know what, dude? I made the fatal mistake of watching ObiWan and then just trying to. It is 3, so it is episode 3.
Thank you, Robert.
I made the mistake of trying to power through ObiWan and then watch
Kamala
Miss
Khan.
Marvel right after, dude, that was
Two different paces, man.
brutal. That was brutal. That
Yeah,
was
that's
brutal.
way two different paces.
That was brutal.
So yeah, so we had the wedding of the brother came through. We had some more introduction and more development from Kamala Khan's weird mom's friend's best friend that's over 100 years old.
Mhm.
We get to see her ragtag team of escorts or whatever they are.
Intergalactic misfits. Yeah.
Yeah, intergalactic misfits. And then we get to see a little bit of their power set.
Yep.
And then after that, we, of course, we get some action from Damage Control. And yeah, what did you think of this episode? How do you feel overall in the way that the season's going?
Again, I like it. This episode was again, maybe I did it a disservice by watching it. I stayed up till 3 o'clock in the morning to watch ObiWan, and then which just so happened to be one of its longest episodes. And then I watched right after that, I watched this show. So maybe I did a little bit of a disservice to watch it that way. I'm not gonna lie to you, I fell asleep that first run through, and then I watched it again the next day, and I liked it. I'm not sure how I feel about the great grandma's friend that's obviously trying to steal the fucking Bengals or whatever, but it's like it's I get where they're going, and I enjoyed it.
So I kind of feel like it's a little fast paced. I feel like the interaction from the previous episode where this lady was like uber nice, or actually just saving her from Damage Control, and then them meeting and them being really nice to each other, and then all of a sudden at the end she's like, nah, fuck being nice, fuck developing the story and making a trust bond, and then trying to get this kid to, like, you know, fuck start her life. Let's just get her to ask her weird friend that's a high school kid that's an engineer how he feels about intergalactical travel, and let's see what he can find. And he just Google that shit. He just straight Googled her, found it at his high school fucking library, and was able to figure out the true identity of the Jinn, even though they're mysterious characters in urban, or what would it be called, cryptozoology, because the Jinn is like an urban legend slash, you know, Mothman kind of character. Like, and he was able to just figure it out. Hey man, shit, solved the entire mystery of, you know, 100 years.
I'm going to allow it. Only because I'll allow it only because this season is only 6 episodes. We only get 6 episodes. So you're gonna have to rush something somewhere. And to be honest with you, if you rush this part, I ain't mad at it, because I ain't that really intrigued with it anyway. So if you want to rush through this part, I'm fine with it.
So are we okay? I had a really good conversation with my brother today.
Okay.
Because he asked me about this, and he kind of was like, hey, I'm gonna give you an idea. And I was like, bet. And he goes, what if the blue arm that's in this episode, what if that is the arm of a different species of Kree or something? And he said, what if that connects it to, he had mentioned something, and I was just like, oh man, it's really rough. It's really, really rough. What other blue characters are? Oh, Yondu or something. And that you end up finding out that the Jinn are the new name of the Inhuman in this series. Because that's the thing. They changed her character. She's not Inhuman anymore. They're literally, Marvel is writing the character. Because I know you had a really good idea, which was, well, maybe she's going to have like a transformation and she'll turn into the Miss Marvel of the comic series. From what I've heard from like a Reddit, it's like a weird Reddit post, but this guy's pretty straightforward on kind of calling out some really interesting stuff. He was like, no. The reason why they didn't go with the traditional powers from the comic books is they want to create or use the expanding of the limbs and stuff specifically for Reed Richards. So when they bring him in, they want to have him with that power. They don't want someone else to have it. So they're going to give her constructs. And then you're going to find out that she's not an Inhuman, but they are creating characters known as Jinn, as a race of people. Like they're like an intergalactic race of people that have those type of powers. I'm fine with it. because that's why they're using the whole like constructs of expanding the arms and the legs and stuff, because it's supposed to be very reminiscent of like how genies can expand and get bigger,
Mhm.
but they're going to use like the offset colors, as in like that's what they look like when they become magical, like that's
Yeah.
that coating or whatever that's over 'em. I don't know where Marvel got this because it's such a weird concept.
Not only is it a weird concept, but the one thing that's really fucking me up ever since I heard it was Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness when they
Black Bolt.
reference when they reference the Inhumans.
Yeah, man.
So now it's canon, right? It's in the MCU that there are Inhumans. I just don't know why they
Why they
had to make
switched
a
it so
whole
hard.
why they had to make a whole nother race of beings to say how she got this, but I
Because
don't know,
like I
we'll
don't
see.
mean it like in any disrespect, right? But I have not found anything tangible to this character that helps me like, man, I'm really championing her for her to be a hero. Like there is no like there's just no base behind her in the necessity of her becoming greatness as a hero. It's just like a kid finds some shit that gives her special powers, and now she's just a kid with special powers. Like you know what I mean? Like like it's like I've said before. Like in the hero's journey, like Steve Rogers was like super tiny, couldn't help out, finally was able and became the greatest hero. Iron Man took shrapnel to the chest, saw that his weapons were being used for bad, became this champion to fight against, the tyranny used by his weapons. This girl is just, I don't know, like it's just, I don't feel it yet. Like I don't feel the necessity to see her as a hero. I just see her as a kid who got powers, and now she's just going around using her powers to use her powers just to use powers.
Speaking of that scene where the Bengals were, you did see the 10 rings logo
Oh,
around.
they were on the floor, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, are we gonna go with the idea that these may be like an Eternals thing, since we were thinking that the Shang-Chi bracelets were made by Fastos?
So I'm thinking that there could be some connection between the Bengals and Shang-Chi's rings,
Maybe.
which is pretty cool. So like there's little things like that that keeps me interested in this show. Like I'm sitting there with one eye half open and I saw the 10 rings. I'm like, oh shit,
Oh shit, 10 rings.
like 10 rings. Like they're making a reference to some other MCU IP, and I think that's it's a cool fucking Easter egg just to throw in a Miss Marvel show. So
You see,
I
like
thought that
for
was
me,
pretty
it
cool.
was that too. But when I saw the blue arm, like I automatically assumed the Kree. Like I
Nah,
was
I just thought it was whatever god they were looking for and they found it.
well because in Agents of Shield, that was Tahiti when what's his face Phil Coulson dies. Shield
Hmm.
used to have this thing where they were like, we're gonna send you on vacation to Tahiti, and what they do is they would do a blood transfusion from a Kree body that they had found a while back, and they were giving Phil Coulson Kree blood, and
Hmm.
that's how he was able to come back to life. But that was like a progress called Tahiti, and they had like just this ginormous 9 foot tall blue dead Kree guy that they had on life support. And I was like, when I saw the blue hand, I was like, bet that's got to be a Kree guy because the Inhumans. The
Okay,
Inhumans are
so now I
created by
see
the Kree.
now I see what you're talking about. So it's like
So there's still connection to the
I
Kree.
got it.
And then that connects her to Miss Marvel because the Bangles or whatever, they were the original weapons of Marvel when that character was a superhero. That was like the
So
weapon
the
that they would give
Bengals,
to all those soldiers.
so the Bengals and the 10 rings, these are all weapons of the Kree, is what you're
Yeah.
saying.
Well, I mean, maybe
No,
because
I
the
get it.
the 10 rings that they found was connected to the Mandarin, which the Mandarin from Shang-Chi used to collect different weapons throughout history that were used for power. It just so happens that his rings were the ones that Fastos probably created, and the bangles are probably created by the Kree. And they're finding all of these weird weapons that have been used throughout history that are kind of like I don't know, like the crystal skulls of Egypt, like Indiana Jones found, like, or the spear of Longinus, which is the spear that stabbed Jesus, like like the Constantine stuff, where you have all of these like random individual like things that give people certain powers. So like Shang-Chi, Eternals power. Kamala Khan, bangles that are related to Kree, that was to their superhero at that time. Do you know what I'm saying? Do you get what I'm saying?
No, I get what you're saying.
Yeah,
It's a theory. I don't know exactly how much stock I put
I
into it,
can't
but
really champion it.
I totally understand what you're saying. I just know at the end of Shang-Chi, when the post-credit scene, we're talking about how the Ten Rings had a beacon. So I guess if your theory is correct, then the beacon was calling to the Kree. Then
No, I think the 10 rings were calling to Fastos, or if not the Celestials.
Oh, so you're saying that the Ten Rings are from the Eternals,
The Eternals,
and the Bengals from the Kree. Okay,
from the Kree. But the reason why is because when they brought in Captain Marvel, she was like, I've never seen that on anything that I have, like on any of my information. I don't know where those have come from. And I was like, okay, cool. Well, we know it's not Kree, because she's connected to the Kree brain, or the mother mind, or whatever it is. So it's like almost like this vast knowledge of the Kree Empire.
It does look like when Kamala switches into like that underworld, or that like that reverse world, when she puts the bangles on, it does give like a Kree vibe. So I get it. I kind of
Yeah, because of all those like generations of people that had probably worn those bangles before.
Yeah.
Which I guess in a way, okay, so this is kind of like it's an offshot theory, but I'm guessing they're gonna say that they're the Djinn, right? Is that what they're called? The Jinn?
The Jinn.
Yeah. So they're called the Jinn on Earth. But once they bring it to the Kree's going to be like, oh, you're not called Jinn. We don't call you that. To us, you're just Inhumans. And that's when you're like, oh, fuck, blackballed. Wow. Like, everybody's going to go crazy. It's a really easy way for them to like rename something just so they can have a reveal later.
Okay.
Because Jinn, in the history of like people of that area, I think it's like Southern Asia, or what is it, like Northern Africa? I forgot what part. I think it's Southern Asia, or whatever part of the world that it is. Southeast Asia, maybe. Well, India. Well, the Jinn, where the Jinn come from. I can't remember. I'm fucking retarded when it comes to geography. Maybe that's the concept. Is they're like, oh, well, it's because these people have been here for years, and they're urban legends, and people just kind of like, it's the word that we use for witch.
Okay.
Like, it's the word that we use for witch. Anybody that's got these weird powers that they can do some shit, yeah, we just automatically consider them Jinn.
Yeah.
But then once you've realized that, hey, well, this is during the Kree Skrull War, we sent all of these different people because we were in a huge war against the Skrulls. We needed to have different outposts of Kree agents, and we couldn't just put Kree there because we weren't a mass population. So what we did was we started cloning people and creating Inhumans. And on that planet, there was already the Eternals and the Deviants and all this other stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's
I'm rolling.
It's not
I'm rolling.
too far-fetched. Yeah, it's not too far-fetched from saying that the Inhumans may.
No, it's far-fetched. You just took me down a whole fucking rabbit hole of fucking like that. I like that. I like the way you're thinking though, and I think there is some validity there to that. Like, I do think you're on something there.
Yeah, because
especially now that we have the correlation between Miss Marvel and the Ten Rings, and that makes sense.
Yeah, so that's what I'm kind of going with in my mind. I'm looking at the farther outcome. The reason why I'm doing that is because I want to be able to be like, oh, okay, I can see how this is working out.
Yeah.
And like I said, like, it just so happens that we see genies as blue because of Aladdin, but it just so happens in the Marvel universe, the Kree who create Miss Marvel, who were in charge of the Inhumans, there's a blue arm, and they're just blue dudes, like, and they had those bands on them. You know what I mean? It kind of, to me, it correlates. So it still gives you that possibility of later on saying like, hey, well, we're not going to call you Jinn anymore because that's a really horrible name. We're gonna call you Inhumans. And then boom, hey, it just so happens here's your king. He was just at Wendy's, dude. Look, it's him. You know what I mean? Hey, it's this guy, and he just comes in waving and shit's the same dude. Like, yeah, I mean, I'm about it. So far the show is still quite a delight. But I'm still not super sold on the idea like that this is going to be the character that takes over for Miss Marvel in the cinematic universe. I still don't see this character as sitting as an Avengers level character. Does that make sense?
It makes sense.
I kind of see her more doing like an A team. Like if they do the all females team, like that would be really cool.
What do you mean?
There's a characters group called.
Oh no. I know A-Force, right?
Yeah,
I get that, but I mean, like, what do you think they're coming out with? Because I know that she's gonna, Miss Marvel, that is, she's going to be in the next
in the Marvels, right?
In the next Captain Marvel movie. So she's gonna have to be either leveled up or she's just gonna be like a sideline kind of character.
Because this is it with her character. Like she doesn't really grow more than this when it comes to the comics either. She just stretches, grows big. She's kind of like a lighter version of the Hulk, I guess, or Giant Man, right? Or Ant-Man's character, where she can just grow big and small and stuff like that. What's up, George? What's up, my dude? That's what she kind of just ends up being. Like it's not really like, but she's still very rash and very like, just so fast paced that a lot of people got to be like, "Hey man, calm down. Like you and Squirrel Girl, go over there, and just drink some water and chill the fuck out."
Yeah, I do. I'm just very interested to see what role she's gonna play with Monica Rambeau and Carol Danvers. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm not mad at the introduction of the show, of her introduction by way of the show. I love the character.
Fun.
I love the character, and I think that she would match up well with those two personalities. So,
yeah,
you know what? I'm more interested to see what beef does Monica Rambeau have with fucking Carol Danvers. I'm looking for them to fight. Like, I think they have to throw the hands, bro.
Oh, they're gonna put it down.
Monica Rambeau does not fuck with Carol Danvers.
She's gonna give that smoke.
Yeah, bro. I want to see them throw hands. I want to see them throw hands. So.
What's crazy is that she actually has this awkward power that she could travel into people's eyeballs and shit.
Oh shit!
And she can fuck up their brains because she travels a light spectrum.
True.
And that's all you see with your eyes. So like if Carol Danvers goes binary, she can get that shit. She can eat that. She shoots fireballs from her hands. She can absorb that shit. And if she wants to throw hands, she's just gonna go into her eyeball and fuck her brain up. Like that. Captain Marvel ain't got nothing on Monica Rambeau's Spectrum character. Nothing, man. And I'm still excited. I want them to bring in Blue Marvel. That's my character. But going back to Miss Marvel, the Disney Plus series, we had the big event. We had the wedding of her brother. It was really cool. There was a lot of culture in this show, and it was very nice and colorful and very fun, very, very eventful. But I feel like that does better in film, not in a 6-episode show when you're only getting 1 episode per week. Because it took up a majority of this episode.
Elaborate though. Like, what do you mean?
Like it was good, but I feel like it does better. Like that whole montage of celebration does very well in film because you can spend a little bit more time like being loose on what you got to sell for the story.
Okay.
But I feel like since it took up a good majority of this episode out of a 6-episode season that we're still developing the character, I think it's gonna hurt it in the long run.
Okay, I can understand that. I think that's a very valid point.
With the track record of Disney and Marvel and stuff, saving it to the very end.
Me personally, I didn't mind it. I thought it was beautiful. I thought it was.
No, it's fun.
I thought it was part. It meshed well with the story. It's very culturally centric. Mm-hmm. So of course, why not have a Pakistani wedding? Mm-hmm. What better way to put on display their culture? So yeah, I thought it meshed well. Trust me, if I'm thinking that this series is going to be rushed or there's certain things that shouldn't have been involved in in a show that's only 6 episodes, it's not going to be the 10-minute Pakistani wedding.
No,
There's
it's not.
probably
But that's
other
not what I'm
things.
saying. I'm not saying that it was bad. I'm saying
I'm
it
not
was
saying that
good.
you're just saying that you didn't need it. And what I'm saying is I don't mind it. And it was only like 10 minutes worth of the episode. It's not gonna make or break the season for me. It's not gonna break the episode for me.
And then later on in the episode, the one thing that caught my eye that I did not like was how they just kind of threw it out when she gets home and they know that she pulled the fire alarm and she ruined an entire person's wedding, and it being that big of an event that they've been talking about for 3 episodes. And the mom's literally like, "Hey, we want to help you. We know something's wrong. Tell us." And she literally tells him, "But I can't." And then they just forget about it. They threw it under the bus. The FBI was there, the fire department. It was a big ass event. That was a big ass accident. The parents knew, saw the cops going in, the SWAT team with fucking guns and all this other shit. While the daughter's missing, the best friend has a broken arm, and the
Bullshit, Rob. I don't want to hear shit. After watching, because you watched it just like I watched it. After watching the fucking the ObiWan series and show, you're telling me that you had no issues with the writing in that, but the one thing that was probably wrong with fucking with Miss Marvel you had a problem with. I was probably more numb to the fact that I just had to endure 6 episodes of this shitty writing called fucking ObiWan, that by the time I got to Miss Marvel, I was like, you know what, bro? Fuck it, bro. Whatever. I'm
but no,
here.
but straight. Like, I want to know if you guys felt comfortable with that. Like when when she's talking to the mom and Kamala Khan literally admits, without saying like, "Yes, I pulled the fire alarm," she just says, "I wish I could tell you out loud." And the mom and everybody just blows it off and lets her go to her room after ruining literally the entire conversation and emotion that the father had with the son, that he was going to be in front of God, in front of his mom, and or in front of his family, in front of his wife, and that he gave him the whole speech about marriage, and then she pulls a fire alarm and fucks it all up. Like, and then they just throw it under the bus. Like, that didn't do anything for you? Or were you asleep?
Do you not just
Or were
hear what
you
I
asleep?
do you not just hear what I just said? I just had to endure 58 minutes of some terrible writing. So if I'm watching Miss Marvel, it probably flew over my head, bro. It didn't. I just took it in stride, bro. At that
For
point,
me,
it is what it is.
for me, it was a little weird because, like, I like the Hispanic culture is not too far fetched when it comes to celebrations in that nature, which is like when Brown Jovi is up on the stage, they're like, "Yo, we even do quinceañeras." Yeah, so that was fucking funny. I don't even know why. That was like the Wedding Singers with Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it reminded me of. But it's because culturally in that moment we're almost the same. Like in the way we celebrate, we're very about it. And by far, dude, heaven reigns on the person that fucks up a quinceañera like that. Because you will end up you'll be front page on a milk carton, guarantee, dude. So like it didn't make any sense to how, because the way that they explained that whole entire, dude, they had a venue, they put money behind it, like, there was a lot of they practiced dancing and everybody got together, there were gifts, wedding, the whole 9 yards, man, whole 9 yards.
I mean, there's been
Several other
some,
weddings and stuff going on in the same building.
not only that, but like I didn't think about it too. All right, so if that was the case, then that means you didn't have a problem with the fact that her parents let her go to a fucking house party. Well, no,
Oh, a house party, yeah.
She had no problems letting her go to a house party where there's drinking, but yet when there was a mention of a convention, she was like, "No, you can't go."
Yeah,
That wasn't weird. Like, there's certain things that, like, at this point, I'm just going with it, bro. Like, I'm not gonna be too critical on this show. It's not made for me. I can probably nitpick the inconsistencies, but I'm not.
I mean, I get it. It's just, I just kind of found it a little weird. Did it ruin the entire situation? Probably not. I still think the show's a delight. I don't think I'm the target audience, but I'm casually enjoying it as if it was like a Nickelodeon film.
dude, this is like, we don't get chances like this often. We don't get chances where we can just like sit back and
And
just
just
watch
watch.
something
Yeah.
and then just take it for what it is and not have to be so critical about it because it's not for us. Like, it's very seldom that we get this opportunity. So no, I'm not going to nitpick at this show. It's not made for me. It's not made for me to understand. Maybe some other person will understand that. And it's just ain't for me.
So I have to ask you, because you're the guy, you're the numbers guy.
What's up?
So we have an exceptional amount of numbers that came out saying that this was probably the best, if not one of the best streaming services, shows, 10 out of 10 out of any show that's ever been done, Marvel,
Miss
whatnot.
Marvel?
Yeah. But it
Okay.
is the lowest viewed show in the first 5 days of debut out of every show. Where
'Cause it's not for us.
everybody else, well, it's Disney and Marvel. It's not that doesn't mean the numbers don't show. Like,
Yes, it
it's
does.
still those,
No
like,
matter who makes it, if it's not for us, I heard a lot of that's why I'm confused with what you're saying. I heard a lot of people having negative things to say about this because it's not for them, and
no,
that's
I heard
that's
what
their
I've
prerogative.
heard is that this is like a lot of people like ranked it like a 10 out of 10. And we talked about this like the first day that it came out, that it was either a 10 out of 10 or like
You're
a
either
1.
gonna
There
love
was
it,
no in betweens.
yeah,
There
you're
was no
either
in
gonna
betweens.
love it, or you're either gonna love it or hate it. There's no in
And
between.
there was so many people stating that it was like one of the greatest shows, if not, and it was the most viewed, highly anticipated show. When the numbers came out, it showed different. This is the lowest viewed show throughout all of Disney's productions when it comes to the streaming services. I think the lowest one above this is like a 1.2 million views on the first 5 days. Oh, Moon Knight, yeah. Now, what do you think if I'm telling you that the lowest rating or the lowest viewed show in a Disney Plus Marvel show for the first 5 days is before this a 1.2, 1.3 million views? What would you kind of say that if I told you this was the lowest one? What would be your ballpark number?
My ballpark, I don't have a ballpark number, but if you want me to speak as to why it may be the lowest rated show, is because it's not made for the average MCU fan.
But
The
you
average,
wouldn't figure that out if it was you would have to watch it first to realize if you were the audience, if not.
but you're asking me to base it off of the numbers that you're giving me.
Well,
You're
no,
not asking me.
I
You're
haven't
not
shown you the
asking.
numbers of Marvel yet.
No, but you're saying speak as to why this is the lowest rated show, right?
Mhm.
So I'm speaking to that. I'm speaking to that because it's not watched by. It's not going to be watched by the average MCU fan. The
But at
average
least,
MCU.
but the thing is the debut episode would probably be the highest, and then it would trickle. Would that not make sense if you were to say like, okay, cool, well, we're not the audience? How would you know if you haven't seen the show and the debut is barely coming out? Like, we know
Oh,
it's a Marvel show,
it comes
so
out the same
everyone
night.
that's a
It
fan
comes
of
out this.
Marvel is
It
going to
comes
watch
out
it.
this. It comes out the same night as ObiWan. So all that metric that you're talking about is going to be skewed one way or another.
How?
It comes out the same night as ObiWan. So
Mhm.
we already know that if it came down to ObiWan or Miss Marvel, who are you going to stay up to watch?
In a
You're
5 day distance? In a five, you're ranging it. If this is a 5 day ratio, we're
gonna,
not saying that it's all just one day.
no, but you
So
said
you can watch this.
you said the
Just the
first
first
day.
episode debut.
Yeah,
First episode.
the first
Mhm.
episode debut.
Mhm.
It went up against Obi-Wan.
Mhm. I
So
would
it's
say I
so
would
the
watch
numbers.
Obi-Wan,
So
and then
and
maybe in a
I
day or
would
two,
say
I would probably watch Miss Marvel.
so. You said the first day that it comes out,
Yeah.
the numbers are low. It's low because Obi-Wan is on the same time,
I
and
said
people
the
are
first 5 days in a
the first.
5 day span.
Okay,
So in a 5 day, not just one day,
okay. That's not what
in
you said before, but in 5 days. Okay,
5 days. It's a first 5 day span. I said in a 5 day span, the debut. This
okay,
ratio is based on that.
okay.
So in the first 5 days, how many views rating that all the previous shows are above a 1.3 at least million views?
Where are you getting at? Where are you taking me?
I'm just asking you, what do you think it would be?
I think it's because it's not good for the average MCU fan. They're not going to want to watch this show. It's a show about a girl in high school that is a coming of age show. You get that from the trailer. You understand that. A lot of people just aren't gonna, or they're not gonna dig it. I don't think it has anything to do with anything other than that.
The Hawkeye
And
show was the same exact story practically. A kid in high school, arrows, bag of
but it's
chest,
not. It
still
wasn't.
made it as
It
one of like a
wasn't. But
1.4 million views.
what was the name of that show though?
Hawkeye.
All right then, it's a
What does that
Hawkeye
have to do with
show. It's a Hawkeye show. It's a person that we've been watching for the last 10 years that we've gained a relationship with. We know who Hawkeye is. We know the trauma that he's going through. We know what he's been through. We know his story.
it?
You're asking grown people that don't know this character so much to watch a 17-year-old girl go through high school, go through all the 17-year-old chick shit that's asking a lot of people. That's asking a lot of the average MCU fan. So the numbers mean shit to me. It's not made for us. I can't base any numbers off of that. There's a reason why it's low. It's because it's not made for us. It's not made for us. So like I don't understand what that means. I don't know what those numbers mean. If that means that a lot of people aren't watching it, well, yeah, no shit. A lot of people aren't watching it. It's because it's not for them. If it was Hawkeye, then yeah, I would have some questions. Why aren't people watching this? If it was Moon Knight, then yeah, I would have some questions as to why people aren't watching this. That's geared towards us. That's geared towards the average MCU fan. This is not geared towards the average MCU fan. This is geared towards my daughter and her friends. And if they don't watch
this is you're saying that it's more in tune for children, not people who read the comics, who have been anticipating it, maybe the growth of this character, or at least the introduction of this character.
Just the average MCU watcher. That's what I'll say. I'm not gonna say whether it's comic book readers or whatever. I'm just saying the average MCU watcher, the average MCU movie goer, they're one, they have no idea who the fuck Miss Marvel is in the first place. Number one. Number two, from the trailers, it looks like it's a coming of age teen show.
Comparing it, of course, to Scott Pilgrim, which is probably one of the highest grossing, successful comic book stories.
You are the ones that keep throwing these caveats in it. I'm not adding any of that verbiage in it. I'm just saying, like, these are the facts. However you want to break it down, because most of the people, they don't know who the fuck Scott Pilgrim is either. So you're introducing a new character. You're asking grown people to watch a high school teeny bopper show. Of course the numbers are going to be skewed. Of course the numbers are going to be down. That's common sense.
I don't see it that way.
Okay.
And the reason why is because it's still a Marvel IP. It's still well known because they just released a game to probably the mass majority of male characters that are adults playing the video game, which
that was a horrible game
of Miss Marvel. It wasn't a horrible game.
That game
I know people that
game
on
sucked.
the round that played it.
Anyone in the comments, tell me if you actually like playing the Avengers. That game sucks, and that's universal.
Well, that's Trigger. That's one of Trigger's favorite games.
That game sucks.
He'll even tell you that he played that shit religiously, dude. He played that shit religiously, but not only that, it was one of the top grossing Marvel games that they released in the last like 4 years. So, and being that Miss Marvel was the main character, like people know who this character is. Like we can't go off and say, oh well, just because.
Thanks, George.
But putting it simply, Miss Marvel is aimed for younger teens. Well, I agree. Trying to get them into the MCU, that's what I'm getting this from. I mean, but you look at Sony, you look at Marvel, you look at anything that they're putting out, and Marvel is just successful down the road. So like you're telling me that the debut episode of a brand new character that is of a different ethnicity and is doing all of this stuff, that it's not going to at least intrigue people to at least jump on the first episode on a 5-day span, to at least people to give it a try? To where like Hawkeye, we all knew what was going on, that they were just going to replace him for a kid character. But the
history is here though. The history you're not asking a lot of people to watch the Hawkeye show. You're not asking a lot of people. We know who that is. You're asking a lot of just the average MCU moviegoers to take a chance on a brand new character from a different ethnicity. That's a teenager, that's not geared towards the average adult, that's geared towards that's asking a lot of people to overlook. So it makes sense as to why the numbers are lower than Hawkeye, which I don't even think that's a great analogy or comparison, because I can crush you in that argument. Like there's no shit why if you put those numbers up against Hawkeye, Hawkeye will crush it. It's because we the rapport is there. We know who that is. We've been down a journey with Hawkeye. We don't know who the fuck Miss Marvel is,
But you know
and
what
not
Captain Marvel is?
but that's not has nothing to do with this.
Has
And not only
everything to
that,
do with it.
but now you're telling me that you're changing her power source. So now let's take your
Mhm.
your aspect of this, that okay, let's take it from the video game aspect. We can throw that out the window because she doesn't even have the same fucking power set
You
as
wouldn't
the
know that unless you saw the first episode.
well, no, that's been talked about. Like let's all right, let's call it a space bait. Like we knew about the show. We've been talking about the show. Multiple people have been talking about the show, have been fucking watching over the trailers, going over it. We know what's going on in the show. It's not like we have to wait for the first episode to know what the show's about, to know what's going on. We understand. So if it's not for you, you're not going to take a chance on the first show. It's not like, oh, well, you didn't hear anything about this show, and unless you watched the first episode, you wouldn't know anything about it. No, we all knew what this show was about. Like, come on.
Okay. I mean, I get what you're saying. I do understand. I don't agree. I do understand where you're saying that there is a target audience. I don't feel like you're going to get that target audience by saying, well, we've talked about it before the show came out. You have to watch the show to understand what the target audience is. And the amount of number, yeah, you have to watch it. You have to see it and then be like, hey, you know what? If I didn't give this show a chance,
We sat
I
here and
wouldn't be
talked
giving
about
this for
what the target audience was before it came out. We talked about it.
Oh, because we knew, because we're the ones that research it. But people that don't research it aren't going to know. They're just going to watch it for what it is as a trailer, and they're just going to be like, oh, you know, that comic book company is just releasing another film.
You couldn't get that from the trailer? Let's say
That
you
it's
did no
just a
research.
film?
No, let's say you did no research and you just watched the Miss Marvel trailer. You couldn't tell what kind of show this was going to be?
I mean, I would, like I've said before, I would compare it to Scott Pilgrim. And Scott Pilgrim was a fucking success. It was a hardcore success. And that was
That's
like ranging from like the ages of teen to like
Scott Pilgrim.
27.
Scott Pilgrim was not a mainstream success.
It was good.
That is a niche. No, that has a niche cult following that spoke to a certain demo that it worked for. The average person does not know who the fuck Scott Pilgrim is. No one
I
does.
don't know about that, man.
The average person, that is a niche. What are we talking about? That is a niche cult following.
Well,
I know it,
the comic book was more of a niche cult following.
and so was the
The
movie.
movie made it a lot more of a solidified IP.
I did
Like
not
a
watch that.
very solidified.
I did not watch that movie in the theaters. I watched that movie on DVD after it already came out.
But were you into that scene at that moment? Like, were you into comic books at that time?
At that time?
Were you into it as much as you are into Marvel right now?
No.
So, like, that's the thing is like right now, we are around this stuff at all times. So, like, we can tell the target audience really fast before it even comes out. We're gonna be like, oh yeah, that's definitely not my cup of tea. But like the idea of is this IP is connected to the biggest cinematic franchise in the world.
All right,
There's nothing but success with the other television series.
We've been running around the block multiple times saying the same thing. So what are you attributing this to? Whose fault is it as to the reason why the numbers are low?
I don't know. I have no idea. I think the show's good, but for it to be rated extremely high, but I guess that might be the smaller numbers. They're going off of a smaller voting count or whatnot. Maybe it's less numbers. Because right now, what would you consider Miss Marvel at on Rotten Tomatoes?
Probably the 90s.
Yeah. Average meter on the left side is a 96.
And that's if you gave it a shot. That's what I'm saying. Like if you watched it, the numbers would be up. But the fact that people already had their preconceptions, their pre-notions as to what this was, they're not going to give it a shot.
What would you think the average audience score is?
Probably 80s, 90s as well.
Yeah, I would say 83. 83. Now, do you think it sits that high?
Yeah.
You do? I don't. I think it's like at least a 7. I still feel like the development of the character hasn't really gotten very far. The
I
backstory.
I think 3 episodes in, we've gotten more character development in this show than any other MCU show that has come out in the first 3 episodes combined.
Really?
The character development, you could probably nitpick about a whole bunch of other things about this show, but the character development is not one of them. Personally, I don't think so.
So this
I
is
think
going to be like one of your favorite Disney Marvel series or what?
because no, I don't know. It's 3 episodes out of 6. I don't know. Maybe it's one of the better ones. I mean, it's better than I like it better than I don't like it better than
Hawkeye?
Hawkeye. I don't know. I would have to think about it. But I mean, I didn't say I would think it's one of the better ones, but I
Iron
think
Fist.
character development wise, it's probably one of the better ones. Yeah.
Iron Fist?
Iron Fist was trash, yo.
That's fucking goddamn. Fucking Iron Fist.
I did not like Iron. I liked a little bit of Iron Fist, but overall, I didn't like it.
I feel like they're pulling this character like they're not really developing her too much.
Okay.
It's the 3rd episode. I feel like she's just a whiny teenager. That's the only thing.
That's what teenagers are.
No,
That's what I'm saying.
But
That's what I'm saying.
This is supposed to be like there's stories. There's supposed to be a story behind this.
There is a story, and she's
man, I haven't
whining
seen
the
it.
entire way. That's what I'm saying. See, this is the reason why you're gonna have a skewed perception of it. Is because it's not for you. You're not. It's not made for you. You're not supposed to understand it. You're feeding into my argument. It's like this is the reason why you don't. I don't want to say necessarily don't like it. You're giving it as praises, but at the same time, you're giving it like a backhanded comment or compliment because
visually
it's not for you. It's you're not gonna understand it. You're saying what were you saying? That she's whiny, there's no story.
Yeah.
Well, no, there is a story, and yeah, she's whiny because she's a fucking teenager, dude. That's all they do.
Okay,
I have a preteen coming up right now, so I'm understanding like that's what the fuck they do.
Okay,
it is what it is.
So far, what is the story?
What is the story? The story is that no one understands this chick. She just wants to be seen. She's got a little misfit group, one that wants to head whatever chapel or temple that she's in, and the friend that's secretly in love with her but is super wicked fucking smart. And then she's got some backstory with the family. Her family done did some fucked up shit back in the day. So now, boom, she's that's the basis of your story. Her mom doesn't get her. Her brother kind of gets her, but you know what I'm saying, not really. So there's a story there. There is a foundation there. Like, I don't know what you're watching, but I see it. And again, it's because I'm not being so critical of it. I can just sit back and watch it, and it's right there. So like I understand where they're going. We're only 3 episodes of a 6-episode series. Like we're getting there. We're getting action. We're getting whatever it is you may be looking for. But if it's not for you, it's just not going to be for you. You're looking for something that's not ever going to be there. That's what I'm saying.
In the overall gist of what the Marvel Universe is, like you feel like that's enough so far for this character?
You're asking me if Miss Marvel is adding to the MCU, basically what you're asking me?
Yeah.
I think when it comes to her as a character, yes. Is it adding to the overall broad spectrum of the MCU? I don't know, probably not. So what?
I mean, it's just one of those things like I just don't feel like I've gotten enough story out of it. And then I understand it's barely the 3rd episode. I get that.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like it's suffering from the dragging on concept that Marvel does with some of its streaming stuff, which is kind of like the Star Wars concept more, because you have pretty good backstory development on the characters in all of them. So like you remember Moon Knight. Moon Knight just came out previously. The first episode was jarring because they established like all the stuff that the character's going through with his mind all being all wicked and whatnot. Then you had like the second episode, it establishes who's Stephen Grant? Is that his name? I already forgot his fucking name.
Yeah.
Stephen Grant's backstory in the next one. And then in the next episode, you had the development of his third alter character, Mark Spector or whatnot. Like, and you just have it. And then they develop all the characters. They start to build up. They introduce you to the wife. They introduce you to Khonshu. They introduce you to a lot more of his backstory to build because they want to maintain the audience's curiosity when it comes to the storytelling. The thing is like in the second episode of this story, like she blasted through the montage of her getting her powers. The only thing that I felt in the second episode that was story that was, it's not really story building, but more like a character thing, was like that she kind of keeps her wittiness and her innocence of being like a teen. And that's what she suffers from trying to be a hero because she doubts herself. But in the first episode, when they introduce her, they give you this vibe that she's not accepted, but no one really has a problem with her in her school.
She's a loser. Like I said, she's unseen. She's a loser. She's unseen.
Well, she's just not respected, I guess you could say, right? I guess that would be the easier thing of saying that she's not a loser, because nobody's out there like dicking her. Like nobody's out there treating her like shit. Like
in the sense
they're just kind of like, it's her.
She's
like,
unseen.
Yeah,
like I said, she's unseen, and she just wants to be seen, as do all teenagers go through that period of their life. You went through that period in your life. I went through that period in my life. Like everyone has been through that period that feels like they're not being seen, and they just want to be fucking seen. So we can all relate to that aspect of the story.
I'm not the target audience, right?
But right there,
but I did. I like that part.
You did. But
so we got that in the first episode, and then in the second episode, she's still not being respected a lot of the time.
Until she got the Bengals, and then she walked in with a whole new bop. They made a specific, a conscious effort to make a scene of her walking down the hallway with her chest out,
pep in her step.
With a new pep in her step. Yeah. Yep.
And then previously she went to a convention. So
she's nerdy. She likes conventions. She likes
that's
superheroes.
Cool, that's what I do.
We know all this. Is what I'm saying. This is story development. This is character development. We know all this stuff about this character. We know everything about this character in the third episode, which I'm so confused as to why you're saying that the character development is the one thing that you brought out. Like I said, there's multiple things you could probably pull out from the show to have a problem with, but character development, I don't see that. I don't
feel like there has been, like, okay, so again, I don't see a purpose in this character yet. That's pretty much what it is. Like, I don't see a purpose in her in the necessity of needing powers or a trauma or tragedy that forces her to take the responsibility to be the hero that she becomes. In essence, that's the hero's path.
Well, maybe
I feel like there's just something missing.
There's not that. Maybe there's no tragic story with this one. There's no tragic story. Maybe we're so desensitized to there having to be some backstory that's fucking trauma ridden, and maybe this just isn't it. Because again, it's not for us. Maybe it's geared towards a younger audience that it doesn't need that trauma to get the point across. Maybe it's just her being in high school and running into her great grandma's Bengals that made her a superhero. Maybe that's all that it took for this one.
But it didn't. She dropped the kid.
What?
Yeah, in when it comes to storytelling, you need tragedy to create a purpose to be a hero. No, I'm being serious, and I've talked to you about this a million times before. This is just basic story writing.
When
she drops the kid, that's a tragedy also, and that's why she does not have the essence to be a hero yet.
I'm sorry,
but do you get what I'm saying or no?
No, I get what you're saying, but that's not trauma. That's just
that's not trauma. That's her, like, having an anxiety attack or her losing focus because she doesn't have that responsibility of pulling through as a hero.
She got distracted by the big chick in the fucking clouds.
That freaked her out.
It wasn't anxiety. I mean, it was, I guess. I guess I don't understand it. I think that the character development is actually one of the bright spots in this show, and I'm looking forward to it. I think although maybe you're right, maybe she does not have that big of a significance in the broader spectrum of the MCU. I do look forward to her becoming a bigger part of the MCU. I think there is a place for her. I think there is a niche audience for this show specifically, and regardless on whatever the first 5 day viewership is, it's a pretty decent show, and I'm glad that I'm able to watch it and not be so critical about it.
Yeah, I mean, the comic books for me, they didn't really catch my eye the first time. There was a couple of stories that were okay, but the character never got really big arcs unless you go for the Young Avengers storyline, which I'm hoping. I mean, we've all kind of talked about it, that we hope that they build, and those will be the people that stop Kang in the future, because that's who stopped Kang in the future. Um, right now, the hero's journey just plot like, or the blueprint for the hero's journey just isn't there for me right now yet. I'm hoping that by like the fourth or fifth episode, we get that mature movement in her character that puts her on the right path to be a hero, like of the people, not just for herself. Because she's just right now, I believe she's just a hero for herself, or she just has powers for herself. Does that make sense? Or maybe I'm not making sense.
You make sense.
Yeah, I just feel like she hasn't become a hero for the people. And I hope that's what happens. I just hope it really does. Do you not see that? I saw the face. What was the face?
She's only in her community helping her friends and stuff. So I don't know. We're just seeing totally different things, and that's cool. Like again, when it's something that's not made for us specifically, we're more than capable of seeing two different things, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. I do like this show, and looking forward to more.
What would you give it, man? So far, what would you give episode 3?
Three was weak. I probably would give it like a 6 or 7. Overall, I'll probably give this show like an 8, 8.5. It's pretty dope. I like it.
Yeah, I would probably say this episode would probably be a 6. Overall, the season for me would probably be just about a 7, a light 7. So far, I think it's a delight. It's more of like a Nickelodeon teeny bopper movie kind of show right now. Vince says it's a 5. Cool, Vince, man. That's hardcore, man. Vince is very critical. Shit, I think I'm mad, man. Fucking Vince is just calling it as it is. But yeah, we'll see what goes. What do you think is gonna happen in the next episode?
I don't know. Shit. She's about to, I guess, go. I mean, we only have 2 more episodes left. I guess we're just gonna get like full out her getting chased by old girl and fight scenes, and I don't know. We'll see.
They still haven't introduced Red Dagger, who's supposed to come out, which I'm really excited to see. I'm guessing he's going to show up when she goes to visit her great grandma or visit her grandma.
Yeah.
I think they're going to end up doing experiments or giving these guys costumes, because some of their equipment and stuff like that was really prominent on not Damage Control. Well, Damage Control was, I believe, the group. There was a group of people, dude. This was like a while back. I want to say like Tundra was part of it. Let me see it real quick. Let me see. Marvel. Damage. Emotional damage. Damage Control. Oh, Wrecking Crew. Yeah, man, that's who they were. I want to say that these people end up becoming the Wrecking Crew. Wrecking Crew members. Yeah, there was, and you will, I guarantee you'll recognize them. They were the dudes. There was like one dude with like a crowbar, another dude with like a hammer. That was like that one dude that came out that had like a weird like a club. Are you looking him up?
No. I'm looking up Miss Marvel. I'm looking up just some things on Miss Marvel.
Oh, the Wrecking Crew is a team of 4 supervillains: the Wrecker, Bulldozer, Pile Driver, and Thunderball, appearing in American comics publishing. But they're these really interesting characters that they always use for like filler stuff in comic books. Like they're just always like the most randomest villains that are like, we're robbing a bank today, and then someone will come in and beat the shit out of them. and then just boredom, just some dudes in a costume.
Mhm.
Like I feel like those 4 characters that came out as the Jinn or whatever it is that they're claiming to be, those guys are gonna probably end up being like members of the Wrecking Crew, which have a very close connection to Damage Control.
Okay.
I think that'd be kind of interesting because that gives us some really cool throwaway villains that they could use for some of these TV shows. Because then they just pop up and they're just like, oh, dude, look, it's that fucking dude from Wrecking Crew, like robbing a fucking Schloshki's or a Subway. And then, fucking Hawkeye comes in and punches him in the mouth and shoots an arrow in his butt cheek. And then he runs away or whatever. Oh, you foiled me today, you fucking kid. And then like takes off. I mean, I feel like Marvel lacks those kind of villains where like The Boys has all these random fucking dudes in the background all the time. That you just always run into some random ass dude. And I feel that's what it's lacking in. It kind of needs for these shows. Because if anything, Marvel has a really bad tendency of just killing off a lot of their villains and then you never see them again. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I just feel like maybe because a lot of the power set that they had was very Wrecking Crew-esque, minus the lady that's friends with the mother or the grandmother. But we'll have to see how they're used because they're still Inhumans, right? Or Jinn or whatever it is. I just want to know how they're going to write the Jinn characters or race of people into the Marvel universe. That's all I'm kind of like, that's what's really pushing me right now mentally that I want to know about. But onwards to the next conversation.
Before you move on, so I just want, because something about that didn't sit right. Because I remember reading something about that, about the low viewer numbers, and that there was something that there was an asterisk with that. So yes, it is the lowest watched show. I think technically it's higher than What If, but What If was only recorded like for 1 day or whatever, and Miss Marvel did beat that. But with its target audience, Gen Z, the Gen Z audience, it had the highest rated watchers from viewers ages 20 to 24 watched at the highest rate of any MCU show, and it drew a more diverse audience with Black, Hispanic, and Asian households watching at a higher rate.
Oh, shit.
So there is an asterisk with that number that is out there, that it's the lowest watch. Yeah, it may be the lowest watch, but its target audience is not going. It got it. So
yeah, because I was asking you to see if you had heard about it, and I wanted to know the numbers. I wanted to.
Yeah, no. So I remember reading it, but I didn't know off the top of my head, so I didn't want to speak on it. But I do remember that there was like an asterisk to the fact that there was such low numbers, but its target audience, which isn't going to be the masses automatically, it's going to be the 20 to 24-year-olds and the diverse household
culture. Yeah.
So that's pretty dope. That's pretty dope.
Well, that's good to know.
Oh yes, yeah,
that's good to know. Excellent. Onwards to our next conversation. Brian,
sir,
have you had your opportunity to get your daily dose of the hero-gasm?
You know what, guys? I said I was gonna come in here and I'd have a full breakdown of The Boys, but you know what? I've been so busy lately. I just haven't been able to do it, bro. I haven't been able to do it.
So you haven't been able to catch up with hero-gasm?
Totally lying to you. I'm all caught up with The Boys. Yes,
you pulled it.
Yes, I definitely watched hero-gasm, that fuckhead of a fucking episode. Yeah, it was everything that Rob in the comments was looking for. I know that he was waiting for that. He was waiting for that episode for days. He was like,
"Oh, Skinamax." God damn it, dude. Oh man. You guys get it so easily nowadays. We used to have to watch this like weird TV that was all fucking wires and lines and glitched out. Now you guys just turn on streaming services and get hero-gasm. Woe is me. You guys get such cool handouts nowadays. Brian, what in the fuck did we just watch, dude?
It was some wild shit. The episode started off kind of slow, but then once it started getting to the hero-gasm party itself, it was pretty fucked up.
And you want to know something crazy? I'm gonna put this out there really, really quick to our listeners, anybody that's watching. It was very watered down compared to the fucking comic book.
Yeah, so I kind
That's
of
what's
got
even
that. You can
crazier.
you can tell that. You can tell that if there was like a graphic like a graphic novel or like a comic book version of this, it's
No
probably
holds bars, dude.
yeah.
No holds bars. Okay,
Yeah.
so through and through though, what did you think of this episode?
It was a good episode. I do like the and I was telling you off camera, the one thing that I find interesting and compelling for me is seeing just how nuts Homelander can get. Like I find that very interesting.
The descent, man. The
Yeah,
descent and the madness, dude.
yo, and they find a new way to do more and more of that each season. And it seems like he's inching closer and closer to losing whatever humanity he has left. Once that goes, holy shit, it's gonna get crazy. So
For
I'm looking really forward to
for
that.
what it's worth, I think this is like by far the greatest episode for Anthony Starr, the guy who plays Homelander.
Yeah,
This is by far his acting is fucking spot on from the beginning of the episode to the ending of the episode. Like it, you almost like I don't know if you felt it or anybody else in the comments felt it, but like by the ending of the episode, could you kind of feel bad for him? Like I felt bad
I
for him with the
honestly
noir thing.
honestly I always feel well the noir thing. I don't know that kind of hit me a little bit weird. Because like Noir doesn't really have any. He has allegiance, but like he just does his own fucking thing. And but like every season, you kind of feel sorry for Homelander at
For
some point.
Homelander. That
Yeah,
was it.
you.
That was the moment for me when the Deep comes up to him and he's like, "It's Noir. He's left. He
Yeah,
ran."
he took
And
his
he's kind of
took
like,
his
"What do you
chip
mean he
out.
ran?" And
Took his chip
he's
out.
so brokenhearted. He's like, that guy, he always has my back. Like, what do you mean he's missing? And he's fucking flipping like enough. He's freaking out enough that he looks at the Deep and he's like, "Oh, okay, you handle it. Like
Yeah,
you handle it and just
you
call me."
call
Like,
me and call me when
yeah,
you and call
he's
me when you
not
get there. Yeah.
like telling him like, "Well, go fucking do something," or go. He's not fucking
He's
ripping him.
fucked up.
Yeah,
He's
he's
fucked
like
up.
he's
Yeah.
mentally broken, and it was so fucking crazy too when he's doing the talking to the mirror.
That part. Now that's the part I'm talking about. It's like he's telling, like that's him telling himself, and it's giving us a foreshadow, like, yo, it's coming. That he's slowly descending
Into
into
mad.
madness, to where he is no longer going to like. There's going to be no trace of humanity left in him, and all of those like day visions of him just going ape shit and killing people on a whim. That's going to be like a reality coming. So
And the
yeah,
other
dude.
thing is like you can almost see him where like in some facet of madness or fucking psychoness, he's kind of calmed down a lot because there's that scene when they're all in the fucking studio room and they see that it's Soldier Boy on the camera.
Yeah.
And he doesn't blow a fucking gasket and start screaming at everybody and telling him to fucking fix it or he's gonna kill him. Like he's literally like, oh fuck, like what if this dude was right? Like if this gets out, like the company's like, oh man, this is really bad. Like, what do I do? Like, guys, what do I do? Like he's almost leaning on people because he's in this position of power that he's always wanted, and he sees it falling apart and he's got no control, but his humanity is showing.
Yeah.
Like his human nature showing. And that's what's fucking crazy to me. Like in the comic book, by Hero Gasm, he's a complete dictator. Like he's like a complete dictator by the time he's already got all the superheroes and he's like, yo,
he's on his
we're in
way.
charge.
He's on his
Like
way.
that's coming. Like, yeah. I know that's coming. But the dictator version of him is the one in the mirror. That's like the complete snap version that he's like, whatever, I'm gonna do whatever the fuck I want. I don't care the consequence. That has to be my guess. Theorize is like that's gonna be when he kills Soldier Boy.
Okay.
Like he's gonna snap and he's gonna be like, that's it. They brought to me their only weapon.
Or
and I
maybe
survived.
that's what it's gonna, or maybe that's what it's gonna take to kill Soldier Boy, and then he just doesn't come back after
and he
that.
just doesn't come back. He doesn't come back from it.
Yeah.
But man, this was a great fucking episode for that guy. Huge episode. But yeah, let's get into the dirty grits, right? So we end up seeing, of course, everybody's favorite superhero, Love Sausage.
Love Sausage.
Who did not have the name Love Sausage.
He was
But
crowned in
fucking
this.
Mother's Milk gives it to him.
Mother's Milk gives it to him. Yeah.
I thought that was okay. So there's a lot of cool modifications that this show has done to make it television worthy.
Okay.
And at the same time, it's just like Invincible, where like the creator was like, hey man, you know what? Remember this part? I think we can make it better. Like, let's do this instead. Because of course, if you've read the comic book, you know that in Herogasm, you end up finding out that Soldier Boy is like butt buddies with Homelander. Homelander has been banging him for years. And it's not that it, like, I love the dynamic of seeing like, yo, he's actually his hero. Like, he looked up to this dude, and Soldier Boy's like, I don't give a fuck, dude. Like, I'm not here for that. Soldier Boy is such a different character in the comics. I love what they've done with Jensen Ackles, Soldier Boy. I like that he's just so like, he's like the Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
Like, he just does shit, but like, there's that part of him that's like, but I'll do it again. I don't give a fuck. I'll do it again. Like the goofy and shit, I'll do it again. Like, he's like, there's a part of him that's a little fucking superhero-esque crazy. Little part, even though you know that he has meaning right now. He's gonna eventually get to the ending of his game and then be like, okay, cool. Like, I'm out of the ice. Now I can do whatever the fuck I want again. And then just go back to the debauchery.
Yeah.
But you know that's just going to be the end game. So Billy Butcher probably has some kind of plan to take out Soldier Boy at the end of this.
Probably.
Or at least fucking try.
Yeah. I definitely feel that as well. Yeah.
The breakup of Huey and Starlight was a lot better done in this than it was in the comic.
I'm so glad that's over. Like, enough is enough, dude. I was over it.
But it's like, dude, Huey's part, like, okay, so in the comics, the boys, like, they use the drugs to even the playing field. Like, they use V all the time. In this one, it's just Huey and Billy Butcher, and Huey accidentally got it because Billy didn't want her to do it.
Yeah.
But knowing that when Billy takes it, it makes him like a little bit more of like roid rage. And then when Huey takes it, he's like a crackhead. He's like all like euphoric and like he's freaking out. Like, and then the power set that he gets where he just fucking teleports, but he's like completely naked. And then if he teleports you, you're naked. Like, that shit was fucking funny, man.
Yeah.
That shit is so fucking funny. I mean, of course, the Herogasm part. It's
why was A-Train at Herogasm again? Why was he there?
He was gonna go beat up that dude. He wanted revenge. The guy that fucked up his brother. That was
right. That's right. He was supposed to be there. That's right.
He was there. He was there. That was good too. That was such a good like revenge moment. That was a very well written revenge moment where he's just like, nah, you're gonna get it, and he fucking grabs him and takes off running.
I guess I was wondering, how did he know he was there? But okay,
it's Herogasm. Like those teams all just show up.
But they're all that's right. See,
it's an annual thing. Like, those guys just show up to bang.
They show up there. Okay,
they just show up to bang. Now in the comics, okay, so you'll see kind of like a reference to it in the series too, where it starts off. The Deep is making like a video talking about like, all of these
so funny
villains, and it's just so forced. Like, it's so forced in the show.
So
and
bullshit
because you know it's such bullshit, right? Because there's no fucking enemies. It's just them wanting to go do an orgy. But Vought pays for all of that. Like, they pay for them to go to like a resort. They pay all the sex workers like $20,000 or $100,000. But like, it's crazy because in the comic books, those characters, the sex workers, get no respect from the heroes. It's sometimes you win, sometimes you die. Like, sometimes someone fucking mutilates your body so bad that there's no coming back. Like,
they made a comment. Well, Mother's Milk he made a comment. He was like, "Yo, these workers, they're getting fucked up in here." Like,
yeah, and it's very true. In the comics, it's way worse, of course, because the comic is really just about pushing the envelope on how far they can get. In the show, I mean, we talked about this a little bit, and I was like, "There's no fucking way. There's no way they were gonna get 80% about that shit. They were getting half." But you know what? Like, there was like all the Skinamax shit, but it wasn't done in a weird, unclassy way. Like, it was still funny in a way.
Yeah, no, I didn't feel uncomfortable watching it ever. Like, honestly,
Even the fucking part with love sausage, like that shit was like fucking funny. That it's like a weird like I don't know snake or fucking I don't know,
Yeah.
dude. I fucking don't know.
Nah, what was it? The tiny hero? Was it the tiny
Oh
hero when
yeah,
he
the
jumped
dude
out?
termite.
Oh, termite, yeah,
Yeah,
termite.
termite.
When termite jumped out and brushed up against
He's like, what the
he's
fuck
like,
is
what the
this?
fuck?
It's
Yo.
fucking sticky, dude. God, I
I
gotta go to
was
the
like,
bathroom.
that was
No,
great.
in the next fucking scene.
And when he opened the door and he
Oh,
got
that
jizzed
was
on,
fucking gross,
I
dude.
was good. That was
I
good,
was
bro.
so done. I felt so bad for Mother's Milk, man, because his OCD kicked in,
He
his
goes, he goes,
cleanliness.
he goes, he goes, I gotta go to the bathroom. What are you doing
Right.
in the bath? What are you going?
Yeah.
What are
I
you
don't even want to
doing?
go anywhere, man.
You can't clean that up in the bathroom, bro. Like you
Yeah.
just got jizzed on by
Yeah, you
like
gotta
a
pray. You gotta
ton of
burn it off. Like
yeah, bro.
the
Like
dude
what
that's walking by with his shit on fire. Like, dude, the show was just like it was funny. But in that part, you get introduced to these two characters named the twins,
yes.
giving a lot of legacy rendition to the Wonder Twins from back in the day, the Justice League crew, right? I'm guessing the Dynamite Twins, TNT Twins, because
TNT.
apparently they make like explosions
Yeah.
when they hold hands or whatever.
TNT turns, yeah.
Which Soldier Boy finally shows up, finds them, and unleashes fucking
hell breaks loose.
destruction, dude, with his
Yes.
cool belly laser that just fucks everything up. And then you have a whole massacre of a bunch of superheroes or supers or whatever they want to call them. Starlight shows up to administer help while Soldier Boy, Billy Butcher, and Huey all decide to fight Homelander. Right. So, Brian, what was your take on the fight?
It's pretty good. One of the better fight sequences, in my opinion. And looking forward to it again. Like I want to see another round with Soldier Boy and Homelander. Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. This is probably one of the best superhero fight scenes I've ever seen in anything. Like
I was gonna say,
rawness
like,
of it.
yeah, I was gonna say it's probably one of the better ones in this in this show. There's a few that I do like in the show, but it's definitely up there, like one or two of the
But
show.
I'm saying throughout anything I've ever seen with superheroes in it,
Okay.
this is by far one of the best fucking fight scenes I've ever seen superhero wise.
Okay.
It's just so fucking like there's something about it that made it so great. And I don't know what it was. Of course, like the fucking
maybe
guy
it
that
was the
plays
way it was shot.
Homelander. I don't know,
Maybe it was the way it
man.
was
I don't
shot,
know.
or
Because okay. Because you're looking at all the different dynamics of the heroes that are in this situation, right?
yeah.
So boom, Soldier
Different
Boy's
power
there.
sets. Yeah, different power sets.
The Soldier's there. He fucking shot a laser from his stomach. Homelander, who's looked up to this dude his whole life, knows his power sets, sees him destroy all this crew shit, and then he's kind of like, "Hey man, like, what's up?" And then Soldier Boy's like, "There's your dude." Billy Butcher shows up, and then you get Homelander that's like, "Billy, I thought this was a one-on-one. Here you are cheating and getting help. Not cool." Zap shoots him with a laser beam. And then Homelander's like, "Bet, now I'm going to kick this dude's ass." Flies up to him, grabs him by the throat. And you have to remember two different things, right? One, not Billy Butcher. Homelander is a good superhero, but technically has all the greatest gifts, so lacks fighting ability.
He doesn't need
brawling.
it. Yeah, he doesn't really need it.
Soldier Boy is a soldier. So, like, he's popping uppercuts, body shots. He's giving him the fucking smoke. Like, he's beating the fuck out of him. And Homelander is just using brute force. Brute fucking force. So pops him, does all this shit. Homelander falls to the ground. And then he stands up and he's like, "Oh, man," or "Old man's got some shit." And then he hears something behind him, only to turn around to see Billy Butcher standing in the hallway after he fucking shot him with his laser beam. And the first thing out of Homelander's mouth is, "What the fuck?" And then boom, fucking Billy Butcher shoots him with a laser beam, knocking him the fuck down, giving him a taste of his own medicine. And then Homelander's like, he looks at him almost like in a disappointed, angry, like a father figure that's like, what did you do? Like almost like this isn't you. Why would you do this? Like, why would you go this far? Like almost like he didn't believe he would do this.
Like he would do it, yeah.
And then from there, all shit breaks loose. Billy Butcher,
Yep.
of course, does not have the power of Homelander, but he has the fighting repertoire and the dirtiness, like the fucking bar fighter, the dude that's been street fighting all his life, fucking headbutting him, fucking kicking him in the huevos, like fucking eye gouge. He's doing everything to him.
I think it was the second season where Billy was, I think he had just found out that his wife was alive and she rejected him or whatever, and then he goes to like that club or that rave or whatever and just starts a fight. And then he just started a fucking fight.
Scrambled huevos. That means like balls, dude. Like kicking him in the nuts and shit. Yeah, because that's what Billy Butcher always needs, a fight. Like that's the only thing that he does. So like even in the comic book, when it all comes to an end, he starts to go after certain people that are in the story that you wouldn't think he would go after, because he always needs to fight. That's just why they have him, because he always needs to fight. So when it's so crazy when he's there and you see he's getting his ass, but he's smiling, boom, headbutting and throwing punches and shit. And Homelander's just like, I'm gonna let go. And then right when he's about to like put Billy Butcher down, Homelander comes in Soldier Boy comes in from behind and fucking tackles his ass, throws him all over the place, beats the fuck out of him. And then in that process, they stand up, they fly, they do the lasers, fucking Dragon Ball Z Kia, fucking
all over
slamming into each other, flying around. You get your thing. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, a naked fucking Huey comes in and punches Homelander, and Homelander's just like, what the fuck is going on? Yeah, what the fuck is going on? And then so Homelander then goes after Huey. Fucking Soldier Boy comes in and he punches Homelander. Fucking Billy Butcher comes in. Huey teleports. Boom, grabs him. They put him to the ground. Homelander ain't got shit. He cannot get out. The only thing he can do from the guy that's never seen defeat is fucking run. He ran. Fuck, that was a great story.
Sometimes you gotta run, kid.
God damn, that was a good fucking, for me, that was poetic. Like that fight scene, that was okay. There's movies that do well, like action movies. And then there's movies that are like Jackie Chan movies, that the fight scenes are able to tell you parts of the story.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? This television show gave us that. That's what I feel. And that's probably the best way I can explain it. This fight scene had so much story driving and acting in the middle of it that by the end of it, I was like, holy fuck, dude. Holy fuck.
No, again, I don't know what it is, but like the most recent episode or most recent seasons of some of these shows,
really bringing the heat,
they're really fucking good. And this is just another example. I was telling you off mic that I don't know what it is about this season, but like I came in here before and said, you know what, I'm not really a big The Boys fan, but this season has got me right back. It's hooked me. It's really good. Yeah.
So the next episode that's coming up is supposed to be the season finale, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so. Yeah.
Right? It's already coming up for the mid-season finale. The next episode, theoretically, is going to be Homelander becoming that guy in the mirror. Because
that's what I'm waiting for.
He's going to rally the supervillains and then, or the superheroes to be his people.
Yeah.
And then they're going to take over the world. On the back of the new interesting story side of Starlight and Mother's Milk, where like that whole concept of them like coming out like in a live video, like just coming out and putting it out on the line, like there's no coming back. Like literally Homelander completely failed. Giovanni or whatever his name is, the dude that was in charge of Vought, Like he was absolutely right that this dude was gonna fail. There's no way he's gonna save his PR. Everything, and then he just got his fucking ass kicked,
handed to him.
So right now he is
shambles,
fucking done, mentally done,
shambles.
And the only person Noir who has his back is nowhere to be
found. It's gone. Yeah. Took his ship out. I'm out.
By chance, did you see? Okay, do you know?
I don't know. I don't know the story. No.
So you don't know the comic book story, Noir?
No, he's one of my favorite characters in the show, but I do not know of him outside of the show.
Would you like me to kind of break down stuff from the comic book about him really quick? Is it okay?
I don't care.
So, in the ending of this story, it's already kind of differently. In the ending of this story, you end up finding out that at the very end of the story, when Homelander takes over the White House and everything's kind of like a shit show.
Spoiler alert, guys. Anyone
this is comic book. This is comic book. Anybody can you can definitely go read the comic. But as you could tell, and by what I'm saying, the show has modified into a so much more different story. Even Soldier Boy, instead of him being having his masculinity taken by Homelander by banging him like a bunch of times to make him feel unmasculated, them not even putting that in the story and actually putting him as almost an equal to, if not someone who can fight against him, that is by far a way cooler story. At the end of the story, it ends up being really weird where Noir is actually a clone of Homelander, and he's like a kind of like a divergent plan in case Homelander ever goes evil.
Gotcha.
But something that's very weird is Noir is a black dude.
He's a black guy.
Not a fucking clone at all of Homelander.
Yeah,
like I looked up straight carbon copy of him in the comic.
I looked up the actors for all the characters, and Noir is played by a black person.
And they actually show him unmasked in episode like 2 of the season, when they were in the past, right? Yeah. When they were in Vietnam. Yeah. But then you see that, okay, so in that part, there's an explosion that happens because the heroes fuck it all up with Soldier Boy in the past. And a bomb or something goes off there to him. You can see that he's all torn up, right?
Fucked up, yeah.
And then in the first season, I think there's a part where you end up seeing like his skin color and it's a black guy. I want to say that it's in the first season. Maybe it's like during the peanut thing where he ends up having his like rash or something.
I don't remember.
Or like when he's playing a piano or something. Yeah, because he has a peanut allergy.
I remember him playing the piano, him hijacking the piano from the guy, which is funny.
That's so fucking funny. He's the greatest character
ever. Yo, I'm telling you, he's my favorite character.
He's a fucking nut, dude. Like everything he does is so wild. He's like a non-speaking Deadpool.
Yeah, no, I love it.
I don't know how to explain it. It's just so weird. He just has all these hidden talents for no reason. He fucking looks at the guy and he's like, and the guy's just like, oh, okay. And then he just starts playing like smooth ass jazz music. And I was like, get the fuck out of here. That's so good. I don't know if it was during like maybe the peanut allergy when they give him peanut and he ends up being allergic to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to say, I want to say that they showed that he was a black person, like a black man. But there's a thing in this episode that when he takes out the fucking thing out of his arm, that his skin casually looks white.
I was gonna say, like, now that you mention it, I don't even think I paid attention to his skin color when he was digging in his arm.
I didn't either. I heard that today. And
because because you know what? He didn't lift his arm up. He went through like the shirt.
Through it. Yeah,
he went through the shirt
for it. Yeah,
he just went like in like his shirt, and he dug in it. So, and then by that time it was all bloody. So I don't think we saw what color it was. But yeah,
yo, but like, okay, do you think it would be a really cool misdirection that Noir back in the day was like this black superhero guy, but then Vought clones Homelander and puts him there instead?
That would be dope.
And that character actually died during that moment. Like he just died from the trauma of that event. And they just like stole his whole like gist.
Yeah.
And put this fucking nutcase as dude, because it's bad. You're gonna get when it comes. I'm not gonna tell you the rest of it. That part's just more than enough. You can fucking find that out. Just Google it, searching
Google
more.
It, yeah.
But all the aspect of him getting to where he gets to later, you're gonna be like, man, this fucking show's crazy, dude. This show's.
I can't wait, yo. I can't wait.
So far, I'm guessing you can probably say the same thing, that this is probably gonna be like a high-ranking show so far.
Yeah, it's reinvigorated my feeling for the show. Herogasm was definitely worth the wait, Rob. So the amount of fuckery that was going on in the deep, yo, it's like out of all the heroes that are still alive, I'm glad the deep is still alive, bro. Like,
that's so random, but yeah, dude, I get it.
yo,
Dude,
that
the
guy,
octopus scene in this scene was
yo,
so
bro,
fucking
like
funny,
it
man.
was so necessary. Like I needed that. I needed that part of Herogasm.
The way they write his character is so fucking weird, man. He's
Yo,
just
it's so awkward.
so
Yo, it's so
weird,
fucking
man.
yeah.
And then his weird like wife, like the way that she's like, I don't know, man.
Yeah,
That's
dude.
gonna fucking unravel real quick.
Yeah.
It's going so far so
absolutely.
good. I really enjoy the episode. I do have to warn people, if you have children, this is definitely not the show you want to be watching with your kids, and don't
And
allow
it's
them to watch it.
definitely
Let them
not
be
the
adults.
episode. It's definitely not the episode, but it's definitely not the show as well, bro.
Yeah. I kind of feel like, yeah, like you can't let kids watch this. Like, yeah, you can get away with letting them watch like Deadpool,
Yeah.
but like this show is like, if you're letting your kids watch The Boys, like that's
Just
bad
one,
parenting.
yo,
101.
just one scene where Kamiko goes apeshit is gonna give your child nightmares, bro. So it's like, yeah,
You know what? Now that you mention it, the storyline between Kamiko and Frenchie is probably one of the greatest stories I've ever seen in a while. Like, it's refreshing that their romance is like that. The last episode was
I'm pissed.
good,
I'm
dude.
pissed that they're just now getting to like Frenchie's like past and like his like where he came from and all that shit. Like the part where the cousin is telling about like his scars and all that shit. That shit was dope, bro.
That shit was really cool.
That shit was dope. And then Cherry is fucking crying and shit after like the story about the knee with the glasses and shit like that. She was fucking dope. That was a good scene.
It was, man, but even my favorite so far has been the previous episode with the Singing in the Rain, or like their whole moment when they're doing like the dance rendition. What, I don't even know how to explain it. It's like La La Land or whatever.
Their duet. Yeah, I got you.
It was really classy, and both of them did such a great job. Kamiko, the actress, is like, she is. I mean, like the first 2 seasons, I thought she was like fucking crazy, and then she brings this season, and she's so like heartwarmingly awesome.
Yep.
Like the way they've written these characters in the last season and episodes are fantastic. The characters you least expected to get the most driven story is so great. Mother's Milk is probably by far one of my greatest superhero stories, like not superhero stories.
In the comic or what they're portraying
here, right? In the comic, he's written kind of casually the same way, but he's more of like a merc or a mercenary.
Okay,
but his
so we got like that.
His whole thing is so gross. Yeah. Like, I don't know if I talked to you about this, but like his whole thing is like the reason why he's called Mother's Milk is because he's a Vought baby also.
Okay.
But he cannot live without his mother's like tit milk. So, and he has to drink it for the rest of his life.
Jesus.
So yeah, even as an adult, he has to. And the mom in the comic book is like this ginormous Jabba the Hutt thing, and he has to go to her and drink from her teat, dude. Jeez. Like, it's kind of like one of the most fucking weirdest things I've ever seen. And someone was saying that the other day, like, oh man, I hope they bring. And I was like, fuck no, I don't want them to bring that garbage, dude. He's so written so well. If the whole
don't fuck that up. Yeah.
If the whole concept right now is like, oh well, his mom is alive, but she's like a vegetable or kind of like overweight, and he's like siphoning the milk from her to live because he needs those chemicals. That's understandable when children drink the breast milk of a mother because it gives them the nutrients that they need to survive from diseases and things like that. That's just commons. But if his body cannot fight that, I get it. But he doesn't have to suck her tit, dude. Like, I don't need to see that shit. Man, that's just like demasculating for this dude. And he's such a badass. My fucking favorite thing was like in this episode, fucking Billy Butcher. Billy Butcher like wants to stop him because he cares about him, but then again, he'll fucking kill everybody if he needs to. He doesn't have that's just the way Billy Butcher's hardwired. But he's taken Vought and V and he pushes him back, and fucking, you know, Mother Milk hits him with a bat, punches him, or gets a gun, does all this shit. And in the very last moment, like as a last ditch effort, he picks his hands up like a man and he's like, I'm gonna fight you. And Starlight has to be like, dude, just stop. Like, let's just go. Like, you don't need this shit. Like, it's so good the way his fucking character's written. I keep telling people, I saw a fan picture of him, that actor, for Miss Blue Marvel.
Okay.
Like, and
And I
I
love,
am
you know what?
100%.
I love this actor. He was in another movie. He was in like a World War II movie with like a black regiment that I think Spike Lee did. But I love this character. So once like he was one of the reasons why I originally started watching the show in the first place. 'Cause I love him as an actor. But yeah, he's knocking. I think we were talking about it out the park, like
Laz Alonso.
Laz Alonso.
Laz
Yes.
Alonso.
So I was telling you off mic that the scene where Mother's Milk and Starlight were in the car and he was telling his story about his grandfather, and then like the car being thrown through the house with
Oh
from
fuck, that was
Soldier
crazy,
Boy.
dude.
Like it's little things like that and his acting, like his face
He's
acting
so
on that
spot
was
on, dude.
he killed that shit, bro. So yeah, man.
I'm really enjoying him. I really hope they bring him in as Adam Brashear. I would love to see this motherfucking dude bring in Adam Brashear. Adam Brashear is such a beast.
Mhm.
And to see this guy become like, I could see this dude being Superman. Like, you know what I mean? Like pulling off that type of character. Like he has that prowess about him.
Mhm.
The way he carries himself. Yeah, and your Miracle at Saint Anna.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
there
the
you go. I'm
movie.
looking up his
Anyone
IMDb.
anyone that has not seen that movie, give it a shot. That is a great fucking movie. And
I gotta check it out.
he
That's where all the guys, it's like they're all like black guys that are all trapped in like what, World War II or Vietnam or
yes, I
something.
think it's World War
Yeah,
II.
yeah, they're trapped behind enemy
It's either
lines,
World
right?
War II or World War One.
And they're
And
making
just
their way back. They're trying to find a way back home.
dude, it's the wildest fucking shit. Like
I
the
gotta check
shit
it
they
out.
had to go through is some hardcore shit, bro.
Yo, this guy was in
It's
Stomp the Yard, Battle of the Year,
yeah, bro.
Fast and the Furious 2009. Who was he in that, man? He
I
was in
don't know.
Avatar. It says he was in fucking Avatar.
That sounds familiar. He's one of the soldiers, though, right?
The
I think he was one
soldiers,
of the
right?
soldiers.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
think
think
about that.
now that I'm thinking about it.
He played Sute. Fuck out of here, Sute. That's the dude. That's Gamora's boyfriend.
Oh, is it?
That's Sute, right? I have to look that up now.
I don't know.
That
It's
would be
been
so
so
fucking
long since
cool.
I watched
Yup,
fucking
motherfucker.
Avatar.
He was the bad dude that didn't like the main character, the
Oh,
fucking alien dude.
yeah. Okay.
Straight. That's cool as fuck. That even makes me like him even more, man.
Yeah. No,
Fuck
he's
yeah.
been
He's
everywhere,
good,
dude. Like he's got some chops,
Breakout
dude. Like,
King. Shit. He was in Leprechaun too. Don't fuck around.
oh, there you go. He was. He was
Yeah,
the
Leprechaun
boyfriend.
2.
He was the
Fuck,
boyfriend. Now that
that's
you
crazy,
mentioned,
dude.
he was the boyfriend. Holy shit.
Well, cool, man. Well, he was in some of the Fast and Furious movies also. So good shit. All right. I like this dude even more. Laz Alonso. Totally sold on this dude. Everyone's doing an amazing job. Like I said, Jensen Ackles is like introduction into this series. Like, dude, watching him come out of Supernatural right into this,
Yeah.
dude, I'm for him doing Captain America or anything else they want him. I don't know if you know this, but Jensen Ackles actually auditioned for, I want to say Captain America in the original. He never did get it. He was one of the guys that they were looking for the Chris Evans Captain America role.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, fucking, he didn't get that one, but he got this one.
I was gonna say like he
shit.
got the second best thing.
But he has also been a very big competitor in the DC world.
Okay.
And he was actually the voice of Red Hood in the Red Hood animated movie.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So if anybody ever wants to go hear a badass Red Hood, like he does a really fucking fantastic job as Red Hood in the animated DC film. So you got to go check it out. But onwards to our next one. High marks on The Boys.
Yes.
Highly recommended
Yeah.
for adults.
Yes.
Highly
For adults,
recommended for adults above 17. Don't get any of your kids to watch this shit. If you do, I'm gonna kick you in the nuts.
Yo, traumatized.
Yeah, I'm gonna come at you with love sausage, dude. Dude, that's the sickest power. Still fuck, dude. And then he's running out of the house with it all fucking burnt. I was like, dude, I'm done. I'm so done. I'm so fucking done. Onward to the next part of the conversation. To the most interesting thing on the world. We have a good amount of time to talk about this. We have about 30, 40 minutes. 30 minutes. I'd say 30 minutes because we're gonna do some damage here. We're talking about the live not live reaction,
The
but we're gonna talk
finale.
about it's live for us right now. But season finale of Star Wars, 10 out of 10, greatest show, greatest couple, greatest romantic bromance story ever told. 10 out of 10. Obi-Wan Kenobi, the season finale. Brian, I don't know if I should go first or you should go first because one of us
I'll go first.
has to hate this more, dude.
I'll go first.
Like-
Listen, I don't. Let's just start with the episode. The episode I liked. I liked this episode. I still obviously just because it's Star Wars and it's written poorly, I'll have my issues with it being written poorly. But off the backs of episode 5, it's again, you're giving me more of what I wanted. Now the Reva shit, I don't know how that landed for me. I don't think they stuck the landing on the Reva thing for me, especially not enough to warrant a whole show with just her in it, if that's the direction they're gonna go. But what I will tell you what landed was the fucking obviously the Darth Vader and the Obi-Wan scenes.
The fight scene.
The fight scenes. And again, this is a back-to-back episodes where it was just shot so beautiful. Like it looked like concept art, but in live action in certain scenes. It was beautiful, bro.
God, I love the way you put things into perspective sometimes. That's fucking funny, dude.
Yo, I'm telling you,
good.
It was like some of these shots were fucking amazing. Like when they had Obi and Darth walking towards each other and just that background of whatever bullshit fucking planet that was, which I don't know how they found this fucking planet.
It was the same one Thor Love and Thunder's on, man.
Whichever one. They just happened to find this, but whatever it was, I like the fact that, Darth was like, nah, y'all chill back. I'm gonna go handle my shit and I'm gonna come back and chill with y'all in a little bit. He went out there and got his ass kicked. That's what happened. And the only thing that I was telling you off mic, the only thing that I didn't like from just the Darth Vader and the Obi shit is.
Oh, I know what you're gonna say. Don't say it. Yeah, we'll talk about that later.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
I'll leave it. I'll leave
it. Because
those assets.
Them bringing assets from old shit. That's not fair. That's not creative, man.
Yeah, but oh well, no, I wasn't gonna say that. That part is just like a bystander. This is a byproduct or whatever. At that point, I didn't like how I put up the clip on our Instagram about how you and Triggs were yelling at me about how he's no longer Obi-Wan, he's Ben, right? You guys were just trying to drill that in my head that he was Ben. Well, I tell you what, yo, this motherfucker goes from Ben to Obi-Wan real fucking quick, bro.
Yeah, man, it's like fuck. I mean, shit, I
real
wish I could transition between my personalities that fast.
This guy struggles. He struggles with using the Force 1 second to being the most OP Jedi to ever walk the fucking galaxy the next second, bro. I'll scratch my head. I have no idea. But yes, it was fun to see. Like he was like, listen, bro. He went to Darth. He's like, listen, Darth. I had it with your shit. I'm not running from your bitch ass anymore. We're gonna end this shit right here, right now. And then he doesn't end it, but even though he had a chance to end it right there, if you notice, he could have ended it right there, and there would be no OG trilogy. There's no sequels, nothing.
Same thing with Reva. Reva could have put a hole in that kid, and that was it.
And that's it.
That's it. All this shit was a fever dream, man. Fucking fever dream. Because when we meet the old Obi-Wan and he's kind of like, hey, what's up? I'm a wizard in caves. I was like, there's no way this fucking guy's seen combat in a long time, dude.
Yeah. Obi-Wan using those rocks, it was definitely OP. He had Darth on the ropes. I like to see it. So, I mean, just forgive me that. And again, it's another episode where you know what I want to fucking see and you give it to me, but you just couldn't have gave it to me the whole fucking series, but whatever. I'm over it. Episode, I give it 7.5, 8. Great episode. Had its problems. I'm not even going to talk about the Reva shit or the Reva shit. That didn't even exist to me, honestly. That was so pointless and useless, and they really did that character dirty. They had a chance to do something great with that character, and they fumbled the bag on that.
Straight,
Sir,
straight.
the floor is all yours. I got everything out my system besides one or two things. I'm gonna let the floor is all yours, sir.
The show's wonky.
At
Show's
best.
very wonky.
At best.
The Vader that we got in this episode during the fight scene is the Vader they should have started with, because that is the weirdest jump of character development I've ever seen, which is one, when he first shows up to meet Obi-Wan and Obi-Wan's like, oh my God, I can't find my force. I dropped it somewhere in the forest or whatever. That Darth Vader is the most mature, confident, like person on the planet. And he knows that from that episode on, it's torment. He's not even trying, because that Darth Vader was pretty straightforward in the sense of like, hey, I've been hunting this dude. I want to kill him because he kicked my ass one time and left me to cook like a hot dog on the side of a lava plate. Like, he had the concept of a revenge in his mind, and that's all he wanted to do. The writers were like, yo, you know what we should do? We should make Darth Vader like hunt him, but every time he finds him, he like cuts a toe off. Like, we don't really get him to kill him like anything. He just keeps torturing him over and over again, and it's like, wait a minute, like, but why though? Like, he killed all those people in the fucking street. Like, he killed a bunch of dudes in Rogue One in an alley or in a hallway. Why wouldn't he just kill this dude? Like, why would he want to make him suffer? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Sith aren't like torturing dudes. They just want obsolete. Like, I just want answers or it's done. Like,
I'll give him a little bit of leeway. This is different though. Like, this is a little bit different
because we do understand the backstory.
Yeah, this is a little bit different.
But that's why I'm saying like that Vader would not have any connection to Obi-Wan. It would just be the mission of killing Jedi. If that was the case of like, oh, it's Darth, oh, it's Anakin, oh, it's Darth. If we're still going with that concept that is the mentality, because to me, Obi-Wan Kenobi is the worst, best Jedi master, not Jedi on the planet. The reason why I say that is because the only reason why he becomes stronger than Darth Vader is his love for his friends and his colleagues, literally like an anime. Like, he only becomes more powerful when he thinks of the people he loves. So he's using emotion to make himself stronger, which is exactly what Darth Vader does to be more rage. Which, when you're a Jedi, you're supposed to only be in the Force, not emotional. You're not supposed to. That's Yoda's whole concept of like, you just do as a Jedi. You just believe in the Force and that's it. You don't go with love or compassion or this and that. That's like the major no-no. But literally, yeah, look right there, George Vasquez, friendship is greater than actual skill.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing. Like, they're supposed to be like monks. Like, it's like a religious aspect. But every time Obi-Wan becomes more prominent is only when he becomes emotional, which is what he's not supposed to be a better Jedi. So when he trumps Darth Vader, he does it in love of his friends. And then becomes a stronger version of Jedi, which is not him becoming a Jedi. That's just him becoming a really nice Sith Lord. Like, I guess, because they're just emotional, but on the other side of the happiness spectrum. It's super awkward to me.
What did you think of Darth Vader's movement during the lightsaber fight?
I love it.
Did that stick out to you?
Yeah, because he's more emotional. He was so like, you could see his anger. You could see him like he's, even when he's doing the one-handed shit, and it's so detailed. The only time that the director's like, hey, you know what? We should be real detailed about this because the fans will like this shit. You could have done that through the whole fucking series, asshole. Is everyone saw it. He has it, and then he puts his second hand, and then he starts like rubbing it with his second hand. So my opinion of that was, prior is I never thought he would want to use the second hand, because that's the robot hand. And that one is just a robot. It has no emotion. The Anakin is the only person grabbing that Jedi, and he's the only one that uses it. That's what I always assumed, is that he only did it because he could feel it. I never did it because, oh, well, Darth Vader's a badass. He only needs one hand. No, I always thought it was like that because the other one isn't a part of his body. It's like an absentee limb. Like, you're not going to feel it. You're not going to know how much output or input you're going to have. It's going to be weaker than the strength of his actual metachlorian body. That's what I assumed, but that's getting into like fucking awkward detail. But you could see it. He grabs that lightsaber and he's wrenching it like a fucking baseball bat. Like when someone's like, they're gonna hit a home run. Like they're gonna hit a home run. That was such a cool like little thing. But like I said, like he's doing the one-handed shit and doing the same thing he did with Reva or whatever. But like there's so much more emotion behind every movement. It's so snapped, it's so pressured. You could see it. And that's the Darth Vader we deserved in that second episode. Because then you would have seen how high the stakes were. You would have been like, oh fuck, there's no way Obi's gonna survive this. Like we know the Titanic sinks, but like fuck, I cannot figure out how we're gonna get there. And that was why I said we needed a more emotional Darth Vader. We get it in this, but we got it after he was already the mature Darth Vader who knew exactly what he was doing and all this other shit. And then at the very end, after he's emotional and all this stuff, the fucking emperor's like, hey man, you need to chill out. You're very emotional. You should go back to being the fucking, the mature version. That was way cooler, man. And then he's like, yeah, you're right. Thanks, master. And I'm like, dude, what the fuck is going on? You would have had 5 episodes of a super emotional Darth Vader that was like doing the Kylo Ren shit, cutting fucking computers up and fucking throwing fits. I would have been all about that shit. Can you imagine if we would have had Darth Vader getting all like screaming at the Inquisitors and
I'm telling you, that's what if it was more Vader and Obi centric only, they could have knocked this out the park, I think, yo. Honestly,
I see what you're doing. There's a little bug flying around.
Yeah. There's definitely there could have been room for Leia and Reva and everybody else and the Inquisitors, but just give them more of a background part, and I think they would have been okay. But I don't know, man. I mean, again, so what did you think of the episode in itself? The episode just as the finale. What did you think about it?
I think for me, the only saving grace was the pretty lights in the desert. Yeah, like that was it. Other than that, episode's like a 6. Like okay. For me, it's just one of those things. Like I know Star Wars is supposed to have laser swords in it and have fucking wizards in space like beating each other up. I know that, but comfortably, we can pretty much say that the elder crowd is just as much as an importance as the younger crowd. And they gave us a really great fight scene. They just gave us really shit writing, like a really shit story. Like I kind of dreaded the fact that they made this because they brought back all of these legacy characters for absolutely nothing. Just to say, hey, dude, look, it's the Hobgoblin. Oh, look, it's fucking the first Spider-Man. Like, like it's crazy that it's more of the nostalgic bait with these characters more than a really good developing story.
Yeah.
Like they had so much opportunity and so much. I mean, look at how we were able to look over the fact that a not de-aged Hayden Christensen did not look like he was 19. But we totally were like, fuck it. But we got that scene.
We got it.
That scene. We overlooked it, and just on the whim of this giving us something that was in the nature of what it was that we were looking for. That was an actual Star Wars moment, and that's what made that fucking fight scene with Darth Vader so well. Is that, yeah, it was a little Dragon Ball Z-ish with all the force pushing and rock flying and shields, and it was a little much.
There was a lot of rock. There was a lot of rock flying, and there
was a part of me at first when he lifts all the rocks. I was like, whoa, dude, this guy's strong. And then he starts heaving them at him. And I was like, oh, wait, that's what's he doing, man? That's a little much. Like, why are you doing this, man? Are you picking on him because he's down?
I didn't mind it.
Yeah,
it was a lot. I didn't mind it.
Yeah, it looked cool as fuck. But I was just like, in my mind, I'm like, are we just showing him that he's now the Obi from the Rebels or the Clone Wars again? Like, is this like veteran? I've been to many wars and I've seen some shit. ObiWan? Like, is this like where was that 12 seconds ago?
Exactly.
Like, where was that when he was planning to save Princess Leia? Like in the second episode.
He literally just left a planet where Darth Vader was on his ass, barely escaped with all the people,
I don't even. I mean, dude, don't even get me started on that.
No,
fucking,
I'm about to
on the
tell you
spaceship scene, man. That was
I'm about
horrible,
to
man.
tell you the exact sequence. So the last episode, he leaves the planet with these people. The hyperdrive is not working. They're going to be caught. He literally transforms from that moment, goes and sits in a little cargo area, prays to fucking Qui-Gon Jinn's bitch ass, and says, "Yo, this shit ends today." And then right then he's automatically back to high caliber Jedi, just like that.
Doesn't
And
like
then
Leia like give him power or some shit? Like doesn't
she
touch
gives
him or
she gives him Lola. She gives him fucking Lola, bro. She gives him a hug and tells him go on his way. She slips Lola in his pocket. So then
why?
I don't even
The
I don't
fuck
even
did
know.
Lola do? Like, did she even come
I
out in the fight scene?
Well, yeah, he took Lola out and put Lola on the dashboard, so she had like a front row seat. There's only one person that ever saw that fight between Obi-Wan and
Leia,
Darth Vader and his
Leia,
fucking
Lola.
and his Lola. So yeah, that's yeah, that was the one thing that I just could not ignore. Is like, yo, where the fuck did that light switch come on?
Yo,
Like,
are
where
we
did it
gonna?
come from?
Are we just all of us in a census gonna just like believe that there's no TIE fighters anymore or what?
Dude, I'm so past shit like that,
You were
bro.
like, don't even start, Chris.
Yeah,
Are
like,
we
are
gonna
you
not?
kidding me?
Are we not gonna believe that there's no like
That
tracking
is
beam
that
or
is
like?
the yo. That was another thing. The tracking beam, like,
Yeah, I was like,
there was no tracking beam. Like, that was like, all right, guys, like, what are we?
I mean,
What?
Darth
All right,
Vader.
whatever. I'll
Darth
roll.
Vader, literally, Anakin Skywalker is one of the greatest pilots Obi-Wan's ever known. He's got his own custom rims on his TIE fighter, bro. Like
Yeah.
he's got a fucking like a prototype TIE fighter that's like the shit that he flies around in the other movies. Like, and you're gonna tell me that he walks up and he's like, shoot harder. Like that's what he's gonna tell the fucking dude in the front like console that's shooting laser beams at this dude right now, and he's just gonna be like, "Hey, maximize the power in the fucking laser." It's like, bro, I'm shooting him. I'm not even hitting him. The targeting system doesn't even work here.
Again, I'm willing this, and this is how bad it's gotten.
Greatest comment that I've heard on the review is someone that we can all generally come together. That's a huge piece of shit. And that's the fucking angry review nerd or whatever the fuck he says. He goes, that scene reminded me literally of Spaceballs. And you know who's shooting the gun? Major Asshole. Remember
Yes.
Major Asshole, sir. And he's cross-eyed. That's why you can't shoot him. And he's like, well, fucking literally in Spaceballs, he's like, oh, well, shoot a stronger laser beam or whatever. And he's like, we can't, sir.
You literally just reminded me to watch his review of that.
It
I'm going to
fucking wild, dude.
Literally, that's what I'm going to do as soon as I get off of this stream.
I recommend it. I recommend you watching the angry fucking video game nerd or whatever
Angry
more
Joe,
than I recommend you watching the last episode of this. Like, it's so fucking funny, dude. It's so funny, man. Fucking dude. And I hate that guy so much because
I love him, yo.
He's petty sometimes.
But he's not. But see, like, Trigger doesn't like him because he's just so negative. But he's not wrong, though.
No, he's not wrong, man.
He's not wrong. He's not wrong.
He's not wrong. Yeah, they left out so many assets in this. That's like the ship, literally, and literally them not being able to go into hyperspace was that new movie from Star Wars. They literally just took that asset from that movie, which was the second one with Poe and Leia. Mm-hmm. Leia flies into space, like with like a force field around her. It's that episode because they're like, oh, we're on the run. We can't use hyperdrive because they can follow us and all this other stuff. And Reva still beats him to that fucking planet with a fucking hole in her stomach and whatever ship she could find on that fucking place.
I'm trying my hardest to not shit on this episode, but like if I want to incorporate the whole Reva thing, there's no way to not. Like nothing about that made sense. Nothing about that worked for me. But
so we have Vince asks, do you think after ObiWan series, do we need? No, we don't need a Vader. We don't need any series from the legacy characters anymore.
We'll get a Vader series. We'll get a Vader series, and 50% of it is gonna be with fucking, I don't know, some other character.
Look, that Reva chick, Fever Dream. Why do I think she's a fever dream? Because the way that they wrote her character, it didn't matter if she was in it or not. In the very end, it didn't matter. Like Luke was supposed to act like he didn't see her. Leia's gonna act like she was never kidnapped by her or tortured by her or anything like that. There's never gonna be any mention of her in the other movies. They just put her in this movie just to fill a weird gap. And they really could have established her like the way they do Cal Custis. The way they even you know what's even oh dude, I'm so mad. They wrote that chick who died better than Reva.
I will agree with you.
Chick.
Yeah, I agree.
They wrote Ice Cube's son better than they wrote Reva. Like all of those characters have some awkward development that makes you care for them.
And it's a shame too, because like I think they did have something, they had something there. And then at some point they just dropped the I don't know what
I have to ask you too, man. Shit. Did it all play out the way that the plot leak? Because I remember you said you read it. Is this what the fucking plot leak was about?
For the most part, yeah.
Fucking shit, dude. God
and I think
damn.
I told you that at some point, she was going to originally what I heard was she was going to die at the hands of Darth Vader.
Would have made more sense.
Which
would have made more sense when she got stabbed in the stomach. If she would have like reached out and said like the same shit that every person says, like avenge me, and then grabs for something that Obi had, then bet like maybe, you know, Obi saving grace. Here's Reva, who was a Padawan, died at the hands of this dude, and he's had it. He's like, fuck you, Vader, I'm coming for you. That's it. No more killing for you. I would have been like, all right, bet, like that's cool. But dude,
I did hear that, and then I did hear that for some reason they were playing with the idea of giving her own show so that it's gonna be plausible that she survives and has this like changing of from good to bad, light to dark, or dark to light, or whatever. So I don't know, dude. I don't know. That's what happened. She's basically gonna get a new lease on life, and I don't know if she's gonna become a Jedi now, but she's definitely gonna help the rebels. So I don't know.
At the very end of this show, Brian, she's like, am I a bad person? And ObiWan,
it's the first thing. The first thing we talked about. The first thing we talked about when we started talking about this show is that she better not be fucking redeemable after just watching this bullshit.
I wonder who thought that was a great idea for the writer to be like, hey, you know what'd be cool? If Reva was just like, hey, am I bad? And Obi-Wan's like, dude, you're good, dude. Nah, you're all right. I mean, that lady got her hand cut off.
That arm. Fuck that arm. Fuck that arm.
Everybody gets their hand cut off in Star Wars, dude. She's cool, man. She's all right. But what about me kidnapping?
Why don't you not ask fucking Obi-Wan? Go ask that lady that's walking around.
Yeah, ask her if she's tough. That lady's gonna be like, dude, you're an asshole. Wound, man. It's like, no, I wanted a new hand anyways. She's just scared for her fucking life, dude. Man, dude, that was so bad. That was fucking bad. She did horrible fucking things, dude.
Yeah,
she killed a bunch of Jedi people that the first dude hanging dudes up in the middle of the street, just hanging them and being like, "Hey, what's up? You see this dude? He's bad. I did this."
Yeah.
But it's for a purpose. You'll understand it later. And then later on, after like that was like what, 3 days? I mean, after she cut a chick's hand off, fucking threatened farmers, hung a dude up in the center square, walks by a fucking popsicle variation of another kid, a fucking Padawan, every day walks by that dude and that motherfucker still has his hat on from training. And she's just like, oh, dude, that's normal. I'm gonna kill Darth one day. I'm gonna kill Darth Vader one day, though.
And I'm pretty sure that if she wasn't interrupted, she was about to do some really weird shit to Leia when she had her on that ship.
Oh, straight. Yeah, she was about to torture a 9-year-old little girl.
Has she not got
a princess? Who's a princess of Alderaan?
Has she not got?
People are just weak as shit, I guess, dude. Nobody gives a fuck about Alderaan.
Has she not got interrupted? She was gonna do some weird shit to Leia, bro. But she's a good person.
Yeah, no, Obi-Wan, thank you for fucking. This is why 100% I tell people Obi-Wan's like the worst Jedi on the planet.
All right. Let's not
Dude,
go overboard.
Qui-Gon finds this fucking kid in a desert.
Let's not go overboard.
Spends his fucking shinglings on buying this fucking random kid from a weird fucking racing or it's
From
Fast and the Furious in
slavery.
space.
From slavery.
Yeah, from slavery. Who's a race car driver, a slave race car driver. Buys him, doesn't fucking have the audacity to buy his mother. Like, just leaves her fucking ass on the slave planet.
That's too much.
I only have enough for one.
I only got enough for one of y'all.
There's no deal here, buddy. Then lets this fucking 19-year-old chick groom this 9-year-old boy into getting in a relationship. Shout out,
Ezra style.
Yeah,
Ezra style.
Damn, Natalie Portman.
Absolutely.
And then literally by the two greatest Jedi Masters in the universe, Mace Windu and Master Yoda, who have Master Yoda by chance, by farce, literally like 1,000 years old. Motherfuckers trained like probably about 180
been through everything.
When that motherfucker says you are a lead in a basketball team, or you are the head runner or the anchor in a fucking four-man relay team, or says you're the best striker, more than likely you're probably going to be the best striker.
You respect it.
So when Qui-Gon Jinn walks in with this kid and Yoda's like, fuck that. This kid's evil. He's smoking
evil.
black. Like there's black smoke coming off him. What do you mean? His metachlorians are like an awkward number. And Mace Windu's just like, well, I mean, I don't know about all that shit, but I'm
gonna side with him. Yeah, I'm gonna side with him.
Agree with the 9,000-year-old fucking little alien dude that knows his shit. Qui-Gon's like, nah, they don't know what they're talking about.
See, and right there, that's where me and Trigger differ, is because that's where is he wants to think the problem is beyond that. No, that right there is where the problem is, and that's it. That's period.
Like Qui-Gon said he knew better.
That's it.
Look, right if you don't think Qui-Gon is a bad, stupid motherfucker, look at the time he showed up in this show when this dude needed help.
At the end, when the shit was over.
Yeah, when this
not when he needed him the most. When he was about to hit Beggar's Canyon. It's all over and shit.
And then he's just chilling, dude. He's just, and it almost looks like he had total control of that situation.
Yeah.
Like Qui-Gon's literally there and he's like, hey man, I was watching all that shit transpire. Like, man, dude, you could have used some help.
You weren't ready to see.
Too. Obi-Wan's like, wow, man, looks like you've been waiting. I don't know what it fucking says. He just like adds on to the dumbest shit that this. Oh man, dude. Can't do.
I'm gonna watch that Angry Joe shit. Like I can't wait now, to be honest with you.
I
usually watch. I usually watch him.
Fucking ass off, dude.
No,
they're really good. And the thing is all three of the two commentators that he has with him are like, this was garbage, dude. Like,
and you know what's funny? The last episode I actually liked, and they trashed it.
Oh yeah.
I can only imagine what they're gonna do to this one, bro.
Look, and I mean, we can all agree that the Darth Vader Obi-Wan fight scene is a great fight scene.
It saved it for me. It saved this show from being a 0 for me, to be honest with you.
The only reason why I'm not letting it save me, or I'm not letting it save the show for me, is because I didn't think they were gonna get a fight scene wrong. It was everything else that I was worried about, which is, they didn't disappoint by giving me weird content.
Yeah.
Like everything else they could not get right. And if anything, they had to do what they did in this fight scene to make it the most epic thing. And they stole a piece from another show to make this show just as important. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's the part that everyone's like, oh man, dude, did you see the big cut on Darth Vader's helmet? He cut him open. Every motherfucker with a lightsaber's cut Darth Vader's helmet open by now. Everyone. I mean, a dude with a fucking lightsaber butter knife probably slipped out of his hand and cut Darth Vader's helmet open. Like, Ahsoka did it. Fucking Yoda's probably done it. Luke did it in his fucking weird ass fucking wood scene when he goes into that weird wooded thing and cuts the Darth Vader's helmet. And it's his thing, which is where all of them got that reference in the first place. But now Obi-Wan's done it, and Obi-Wan's the coolest motherfucker to all the normies because they've never seen all the other shit. Dude, even Force Unleashed, probably one of the greatest Star Wars games ever. Fucking Star Killer smashes fucking Darth Vader's, cuts his helmet, exposes the thing. And 100%, you mentioned this earlier. You made that picture that you put on our Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
You made it with your phone, and it looks fucking phenomenal. So it almost looks like it's advertisement to be like, oh, do you remember the Clone Wars? Remember that scene where Ahsoka Tano cuts Vader's helmet? Watch it again. It's gonna be in this one. And I was like, holy fuck, like that's Star Wars literally being like, yeah, we jacked this shit. Come check it out. We're gonna do it again. And then when you were like, I made it, I was like, fuck, thank God. I would have been so mad if Star Wars did that shit. I was like, remember that time that Vader got cut this way? Come see it again.
Yeah. That's so funny.
And then when I was watching that, I guess like the scene when all the voices and the glitching and all of that stuff. What if Qui-Gon Jinn was evil and knew what Anakin was gonna do? Qui-Gon wanted the Jedi to be dead. That if they did that, 100%, I would love Star Wars. I would be like, in the very end, Qui-Gon was a Sith, and he was like, "Yo, I was in it from the beginning. I'm Darth Plagueis."
I mean, at this point, with the writing, you might as fucking well, bro.
If they did that, at least it would all make sense. You'd be like, haha, Obi, you fell right into my trap. You raised my fucking Jedi bomb. And then this I mean, it ain't wrong.
I mean, they could pull that off. How much is Qui-Gon Jinn referenced?
20 minutes, man. I mean, that's as much as he's been in every movie. The only thing is, man, I really wish he would have came back and been like, yo, I heard this little girl's taken. I have a certain set of skills that I'm ready to fucking... And then he just turns right into himself as the Taken movies, but it's Qui-Gon Jinn. I would have been so about it. You know, if there's one movie that I would really like to see, and I keep saying this, in The Empire Strikes Back, right? Which is the first of the original films. Is that right?
No. New Hope. It's a New Hope. Yeah, it's
Return
of
the Jedi.
Yeah, no, Empire Strikes Back and then Return of the Jedi.
Yeah. In A New Hope, there's the scene when Darth Vader kills old ObiWan. From that moment on, I just want to see a Vader movie with Obi-Wan just walking around picking on him all fucking day. Like as a Force ghost. Like just making his life suck. Like he's in the shitter and he's like, oh, smelly you are. You know what I mean? Just fucking with him. And that would, to me, would be the greatest Star Wars movie ever. I mean, by now you got to understand that they need a comedy. Star Wars either needs a comedy or a horror film. Like just a straight,
what do they do now? Like, what do they do now?
They fucking put a fork in it. Like it's a dead horse. It's a dead horse. Like this is a dead horse. Reva season 2 or whatever, season 1 or whatever they want to call it. Fucking make her. I'll tell you what. Make her a like a not a space pirate, but like a person transporter, and have her just transporting shit like a smuggler, like the video games. I don't even remember like a Knights of the Old Republic and all those games from back in the day. Or even better, make it like Firefly, and Reva is the captain. You knew that she came from like this weird background. She's not really necessarily being good or evil. She's just trying to live her life. Yeah. And then there's just small pieces of like the Empire that are like, hey, you're looking mighty familiar there, lady, or whatever. Third sister. And then they get in a good old fashioned gun shit. And yeah, the dude with the hat, Han, literally from Fast and the Furious, Tokyo Drift.
Intergalactic Westerner.
Yeah, fucking Western.
Let me ask you a question. So with everything so far that's been coming out, and from what we've been seeing with Boba and now Obi-Wan,
it's rough. God, man,
that's what we have in Star Wars, you know,
that's what we've been given. The Mandalorian.
Do you have any? And we have Mandalorian season
That's
3.
probably what I'm more excited for.
But before we get to Mando, we have one more show coming out, and it's called Andor. Are you any type of excited for Andor coming off of what we just saw in Boba Fett and now Obi-Wan? Are you excited for Andor? Do you think they can pull this off? I'm be honest with you, I'm not much of an Andor fan. I thought he was cool.
I don't even know what it's about, man.
I thought he was cool in Rogue One, but like I didn't necessarily think he was all that to get his own show personally. But
is Andor that planet they're on or what?
No, Andor's the guy. He's the fucking the isn't he the guy?
I thought Andor was the planet. Maybe?
Nah.
Let me check real quick. I want to say that Andor might be a planet. And that's where like the story what's that shit? That's where the rebels start on. Like that's where it all begins. Andor is an upcoming American television series crafted by Tony Gilroy, sharing the Rogue One series. Diego Luna, executive producer, repraises his role as Cassian Andor. Yeah, you got it right.
Yeah, so it's about
him.
It's about him. Yeah.
Well, you know what? That's not too crazy because he was like this like espionage James Bondish character, very like the smuggling story.
Yeah.
Like almost like, it's not too bad because we haven't had anything like that in the Star Wars universe. That doesn't sound too bad. That's kind of like this concept of like the Mando and the bounty hunter thing. Mm-hmm. And then they tried to repraise it with Boba and it didn't work because Boba just sucks. But Mando's was pretty successful. He was literally a bounty hunter. They gave us like the general idea of what a bounty hunter really is. Gave us the background, gave us the story, gave us the community, gave us more of the Mandalorian culture, like, reprising the idea of what it was in the Clone Wars. Like it was pretty good. Where Boba Fett, they don't have shit. Like they don't have shit. Like the dude fell in a Sarlacc pit, barely captured Han Solo. And yeah, accidental spy would have been way better for him. He's a shitty gang leader. I mean, that's all we could tell. He's a shitty gang leader.
Pretty
horrible at taking naps. I mean, fucking dude. And he's a sponge for getting punched by Wookiees, dude. Like, that's all I can tell you he is, dude.
He's the only one that Black Chrysanthemum, that's his name. He's the only one that he beat. He's the only one that he beat up. Black Chrysanthemum got his ass kicked by everybody else in the whole show except for the main character. Except for
everyone, and he in the comic book is supposed to beat Black Chrysanthemum.
Yeah, bro.
Like holy shit.
Supposed to be handpicked by fucking Darth Vader himself, but can't catch a win.
Can you imagine being Darth Vader, being like, "Oh man, I chose that dude." Like, fuck, this is the best bounty hunter on the planet. Isn't that guy with the silver costume? What's his name? The Mandalorian. Where's that guy at? And they're like, "Nah, he's busy, bro. Like, he's busy, fucking doing other missions for cool people." So you gave me the Dollar General version of it? Goddamn, Boba Fett. Fuck.
I know there's been a lot of talk about the Lando series being made, but they were waiting for
Lando Calrissian.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they were waiting for Childish Gambino to get done with the last season of Atlanta. But now it just seems like Kathy Kennedy's been talking so much shit, he might not even do it now. And I'm thinking that might actually be good for him because there's
stay away from this shit. It's toxic.
Yeah, you may want to stay the fuck away from this shit.
I mean, he was very delightful in fucking Solo. I mean, he did very well reprising the role and revisiting the role of Lando. He did fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
Like I saw it as being like the young version of fucking Apollo Creed himself. You know what I mean? More better than the guy they chose for Han Solo.
Yeah.
The guy they chose for Han Solo didn't get it for me, man. Chewbacca's Chewbacca. You can't really fuck that up.
Yeah.
But the Han Solo guy sucked. So going back to this show, Obi-Wan Kenobi himself as a character started off as a really horrible person that had a mission that really sucked. And grew back into a Jedi master in what it looked like in a couple of days, going on an adventure with the kid that he wasn't even supposed to see, but because the other dude that's supposed to be protecting her has done a
Fucked up.
shitty job also.
They
So
fucked
both
up.
of these fucking people both did Padawan dirty or Padme dirty by being the people that were supposed to be taking care of these kids. At the very end, they should have just hired Reva to just take both of the kids and take care of them, because she did a way fucking better job than both of those dudes. Like, Reva did the research, which Darth Vader can't do. Like, and the Emperor, who is the mastermind behind all of this craziness, like all the way into the future shit. But like, straight up, Reva did a better job, like, as herself and being strong than both of these characters put together. Val Organa, or whatever his fucking name is, shit character. What are you doing, dude? Like, you should have just sent the mass email that was that bounty that they did of Obi-Wan on that planet, like, of the message you sent him. Oh, Obi-Wan, I'm so sorry. I hope you found my daughter, Leia. Please don't fuck this up. And I'm so sorry that, that I took you away from protecting Luke. And it's like, stop, dude. Stop. You told everybody in one message. You told him exactly what the fuck are you doing, man? God damn it. It's bad. It's bad. It's really bad. I don't know how to explain it, but yeah. So what are we giving the overall take of the Obi-Wan story?
Series,
Yeah.
series, I can't, and I told you off mic. There's just, the writing is so horrible. I cannot give this anything more than a 5. I think maybe if I rewatch the series, which I will never do, but just say, some out of this world chance that I watch this again, I may give it a 6 at best, but I can't. The writing is horrible, dude. Horrible. And I hate the fact that I have to sit here and talk about the writing for an Obi-Wan show being so horrible that I can't give it more than a 5, but it's got to be a 5 for me, dude. It's and the only thing that saved this from even being is the fight is the fight scenes, the training between Anakin and Obi, the Darth and Reva fight, and then the final scene in this finale. And that's it. Those 3 scenes are the only thing that saved this show. That saved this show for me.
I think the thing that saved this show was that scene when they're leaving the base and they're all in the trench coat. That's the thing that saved this. That's the fucking nail in the coffin, man.
It might be a 4. It might be a 4 because I forgot about that shit.
I was so checked out by that. The thing is
yo, he hit her in the coat.
And I wasn't gonna say it, but I was like, dude, I have to make fun of this, because I guarantee you probably forgot about that, because that's such a not great thing.
Yo,
the stuff that we knew we wanted was the only good parts of the series. The part that that we were anticipating when we finally got it.
Yeah.
To me, it just wasn't enough. I could give it a 6 because I don't know, participation award or whatever. It's Star Wars, at least by title. It's Star Wars. But I'm just gonna give it a 6 because I would feel bad giving it a 5 because I feel so bad that it's almost like everything Hayden Christensen has touched ever since he got out of the Anakin series, like of the original films, like that was his greatest thing. And all the other movies after that have always been really rough for him, like to come back into Hollywood.
Yeah.
And then for him to have to repurpose his character only to make this and this be his legacy, I feel bad for him, dude. Same thing with Obi-Wan. I feel bad. Like this is not how I would want them to come back to these characters. Like, I don't know. I feel like the fighting scenes were saving graces for him. And I hope that's what they take out of it. Like, they're like, hey, you know what? Like, yeah, the story kind of sucks, but man, we had great fight scenes. I would be like that, dude. I mean, you guys deserve it.
Or just imagine if you put a semi-coherent fucking script together.
Yep.
You'd have knocked this out the park, dude. if you
Like they
if you
literally, it's like you said earlier, they literally could have made the series centered around just Darth chasing Obi-Wan across the universe and then sprinkle in the Reva character as the third sister. You know, maybe even that'd be the way that they can introduce her into the
her
video
own
game
series,
series,
yeah, or
the
her
video
own
game series,
series,
because then
whatever,
she
yeah.
would be a part of that whole entire spectrum with Cal Kestis and all that stuff. Um, even with the other what is it? What are those fucking people? The Inquisitors? Because in the comic
Inquisitors.
book, at the very, very end, after the Jedi are all wiped out, which Obi would literally be the last one, Darth ends up killing all the Inquisitors.
All the
Like
Inquisitors.
Vader ends up just wiping them all out because he's like, ha, bitch, only rule of two, and then just kills all of them.
Mm-hmm.
So in that concept, you could have had that. You could have had it be where it's the Obi-Wan series. At the very end, Darth literally believes he wins the war or whatnot, or wins the fight. And then it just ends up being that the Inquisitors are now being hunted by Darth Vader. And it's just a really dark version. That would have been cool as fuck, right? And
Yep.
then that's the Reva story. It's all like her on the run.
On the
and then
run.
it goes back to like flashbacks of her. Dude, I'm telling you, I love storytelling. Like her being a Padawan running from in the base, like trying to, like, you know what I mean? Like
Now
survive
listen,
the Order
now,
66.
now listen. You were just sitting in your house on a computer with the mic in front of you. In less than 10 seconds, you made up something that is
It's a
something
billion times
better
than they've
than
created.
what the fuck. Yeah, exactly.
Tell you, man.
It's and you know what? You know what? I'm so easy. I'm so easy to please that even if you give me a shit story and it's written poorly, then just throw a bunch of fucking action in it, bro.
Yeah, put something in it. Make
Just
it worth
throw,
my
just-
while.
yeah, at least disguise the smell of the shit that I'm looking. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, at least just throw a bunch of action at me so that my senses are overloaded and I can't even tell whether or not this is good or bad that I'm looking at. You understand what I'm saying?
You know what really sucks is Filoni was in this too.
What do you mean?
Like he was a part of creating the Obi-Wan series, like a part of this series. Like
He had nothing to do with writing this though.
no, of course not. But you know, he had to, like, you know, hey, I'm coming in. Let me give you some pointers because I did Clone Wars and blah blah blah. I made these
I
characters.
don't know how much Clone Wars was referenced or studied before this show,
like,
bro.
Would you say that Filoni would be like more of the or the Feige character more than this Kennedy lady, or would the Kennedy lady above him? You know
listen,
what I mean? Right?
I know what you mean. I don't listen. I'm not as hard on Kathleen Kennedy as a lot of other people are. I think if she just shut the fuck up, sometimes it would take her a lot further, especially with this fandom. The answer to your question, I would think at this point it is time for a change though. I think that the duo of John Favreau and Filoni have proven that they are in touch. Yeah, not only are they capable, but they're more in tune with the pulse of the fandom and what people want to see. And I think that's half the battle. So I would say why not give them a shot? But for some reason, I don't know what Kathleen Kennedy has on the top executive there, but they are not firing that lady for as a matter of fact, she just keeps getting extensions and raises and shit like that. And these movies and these shows just keep getting worse and worse, dude. So I really don't know what the answer to that is, but I mean, I would like to see Filoni as the Kevin Feige head over there at Lucasfilm. I would like to see that.
Yeah, I kind of see that's what they need right now. It's on the cusp of it, where it's getting to that point where it's like a really bad sword, man. It's either gonna make or break. Is it gonna stop Disney from making money in Star Wars? No, fuck no, dude. That's like what is it? Infinity pits, bro. Like they're always.
And that's the problem. Like honestly, that's the issue is the fact that there's no repercussions to what they do.
Shitty job.
Yeah, there's no repercussions. They're still gonna get paid. People are still gonna be in line to see this shit. And so Kathleen Kennedy's gonna keep getting her bonuses and keep getting extension contracts. That's it.
Yep. Guys, girls, what did you guys think? Star Wars, was it everything you were anticipating, the Obi-Wan series, or did it flop and it was really bad? Let us know in the comments. Let us know what you guys think. What else did you think of all the other stuff? The Umbrella Academy, The Boys, Miss Marvel. Let us know in the comments, guys. If there's anything else you want us to cover, let us know during the week. Hit us up during anywhere in our DMs. Let us know. Don't forget to add us on Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcasts, anywhere you listen to your podcast. And don't forget, we do have an Instagram. Go check us out. It's funny. Brian runs it. He puts out a bunch of cool little polls and things, and he does funny pictures of Anakin Skywalker. Guys, we hope you have a great week. We really appreciate you guys stopping in and chilling out with us during our live shows. Don't forget to, of course, DM us. Let us know what's going on. And if you're out there, stay cool, be good, stay safe from Ezra Miller. Make sure that you put on Facebook that you are safe from Ezra Miller. That would make me laugh. Yeah, check in that you're safe from him. And yeah, don't go to any Ezra Miller branches, dude. Yo, that man,
worst decision of your life.
Decision ever. Let's hope that he's not in the news for next week, or at least that he gets caught and they fucking someone does some shit. Yeah,
guaranteed he's in the news next week. Guaranteed.
To everybody out there, to all our extraordinary listeners, we appreciate every one of you. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you guys again next Friday here on the show live on the Average Boys Podcast. Laters.
Peace.
Pew, 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 pew. Ow.